On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Matt and Nick will get back to calling out Star Wars leakers as they tackle a few wild rumors that popped up over on Reddit this past week. They'll also talk some new toys, including a very Tamara-like Jango Fett hot toy figure. Matt will highlight some of the awesomeness featured in Darth Vader No. 6 2020, and he and Nick may even talk some LEGO Star Wars Holiday Special updates after. The latest Mandalorian special look will get broken down by these two bozos, and they'll also comment on a few interviews with the cast, which hint at a possible Mando movie at some point in time. Finally, they'll wrap with this week's version of the fan segment, which will feature fan responses to their favorite Jedi and the top 5 fan artist features of the week. Cue the music. Hey now, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Star Wars Time Show. Hey now! Woo! Hello, my friends. It is Matt and Nick, and we are back, and we are ready to talk some smack. Listen to this. I should have been a rapper. Don't be dissing on me, or I'll punch you in your motherfucking knees. You know what I'm saying? Get some. See, Eminem's not the only white guy that has lyrical skills, all right? All right, Nick, we're here. We've made it another week living in the bizarro world that we live in. Indeed. And we're here to talk some Star Wars, and we actually got some legit Star Wars to talk about, right? We got some motherfucking Mando footage to discuss. We've got some actual interview quotes from John and Pedro that are interesting about the future of Mandalorian, about some of the toxic fan shit, talking smack about my man Pedro in The Mandalorian. But we also got some bullshit to get through, you know. I mean, this is the Star Wars Time Show. It's not like we wouldn't tackle the bullshit or just spew our own bullshit, right? That's how we freaking roll. So, Nick, just a few things before we get into the topics, because you and I, offline, we kind of powwow. We're like, you know what, brother? And I was like, yes, brother. And he's like, we spend too much time at the opening of the show just kind of talking about nothing. I said, you know what? You're kind of right. Me being a listener of the Stern Show, I sometimes like just getting into just hearing about Howard's life, the staff, this, that, and the other thing. So I was like, you know what, Nick and I'm sure people at this point, a lot of you have been following us for over a year now. Maybe you'd be interested in getting a little peek behind our toilet cover that we, you know, put on our personal lives. But apparently we've been going too long because we've been rolling out 3-hour fucking shows. Half of you are on the stream, you drop off and you come back with comments like, holy shit, you two bozos are still going.
So, it's happened multiple times.
Yeah, that's kind of an indicator that, you know, maybe some of the just nonsensical ramblings about the life of Matt and Nick should be cut down a bit. So we're going to work on that. Yeah, 69! Sorry, Klondike's in here today, which means he's going to be triggering me with Fred show drops from the Stern Show. All right? Everybody get down! Hit the floor! Yes, I don't have Tourette's. So we're going to limit this segment a bit, but we are still going to talk about what the hell we've been doing, because you never know. Maybe we'll give you an idea. Maybe we'll give you a reason to waste some money. We'll definitely give you reasons to waste some of your time.
Yeah.
All right. So, Nick, first and foremost, something we've been talking about on this show. It seems like for months now, no, we are not being paid by Sucker Punch. No, we are not shills for Sony. But my God, Ghost of Tsushima does not fail to impress. And what am I talking about? Well, we already know the single player is fantastic, must-play type of adventure. But last week on October 16th, for free, Sucker Punch gave us a whole new addition to the game, Nick. I mean, we're talking essentially Ghost of Tsushima 1.5.
Yeah.
All right.
Like the MMO.
Yeah. This isn't just some bullshit DLC like you get a 30-minute mission in the campaign. It's not just a revamped New Game Plus mode, which I might add is quite nice and robust, and they give you reasons to go through the game again after you beat it. But as Nick said, they essentially for free tacked on Destiny. I mean, we now have a full-on Destiny multiplayer component, sans an online meeting spot where you can see people jumping up and down or like emoting themselves, jerking each other off. That's really the only thing we're missing from the Legend mode in Ghost of Tsushima, all right?
Yep.
I mean, we got Tsunami. I mean, we got... you got this thing, Nick, it's Ki, but is it pronounced Chi? Ki in the Japanese dialect, anyone?
I've heard it both ways, to be honest with you. Like, I think with in Iron Fist, they said Chi.
Right, and in Mulan, they're real big on Chi again, but
yeah.
Is Ki pronounced Shi in the Japanese dialect, or is it Ki? Us Americans, I know me and Kung Fu the intern, we were calling it Kai, this, that, and the other thing. I'm pretty sure it's not Kai. Either way, who gives a shit? You got this key stuff, Nick, which is essentially equivalent to light in Destiny. Mm-hmm. So you gotta keep playing the story missions to up your key level, which opens harder missions, which gets you better gear, which gets you better cosmetics and emotes and VFX. It's just fucking money.
Yeah.
All right, money. I mean, you get, there's classes, you can unlock characters and classes, each one has ranks, every rank you get more cosmetics to unlock. It's very compelling, addicting type of multiplayer.
That is the best type of multiplayer, is the addicting type.
I mean, dude, I'm someone that I piss away my free time liberally, a lot of it on this dumb fucking show, okay? To the detriment of my other hobbies, the toy photography, the gaming, this, that, and the other thing. Ghost from last Friday night, so the 16th, I've probably sunk on average 2 to 3 hours a day, and I have not played an online multiplayer game for more than 30 minutes. Outside of when Nick and I did our little squadrons test, it pissed him off and he burnt the digital files because he hates it so much. Yeah. I have not played online multiplayer for that length of time in years, and that's got to show you a lot. That's got to tell you a lot. Hell, Nick, I'm even playing with random fucking people. Like
are you on voice communications as well?
If they have a mic, I'll turn mine on because, you know, I'm not that big of a jerk off anymore. But I'm not going into it like, hey, man, you got a mic? It's like, you don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. Great. Hopefully we can use the emotes and the limited dialogue in the game to fucking figure shit out if we need to.
Yeah.
But dude, it's just, it's I don't know. It's fantastic. Who knows how long it's going to last? I don't know if when the 5 gets here, if I'll drop it to play something else, but it has overtaken Squadrons, which, yes, I've kept playing. I have not quit on it like Nick. That VR is still, it's something I do once a day. I have to get in Squadrons once a day just to feel the thrill of piloting a TIE or a Rebel Squadron type of starfighter. But Ghosts of Tsushima, the Legends mode, 2 thumbs up, 4 thumbs up, and a penis if we have to. You know what I'm saying?
I have one question for you, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you need to have finished the single player in order to like experience it properly?
No, because and here's the deal, and I think I know where you're getting at, but the way Legends is broken down, my friends, is you have a quick play where it will just dump you into the story missions or the survival mode, or you can actually go in and play the story missions with up to 1 other player, or the survival mode with 3 other people. So we knew we were getting the story missions, right?
Yep.
I don't know about you, but me and the intern, when we were playing this, we're like, oh, I thought we were just going to go through the main quest together. It might be a little bit different, this, that, and the other thing. No. There's a whole new, I think it's like 9 or 10 mission long quest, if you will. They're little missions you have to enter, so it's not like a cohesive story, but it kind of tells a cohesive tale once you play them all. But you get in and you're presented with different scenarios in each of the 9 to 10 different missions. And if you listen to the narrator, he is kind of telling a story about these ghosts that have shown up on the island to kind of bring the peace. And one's a samurai, one's an assassin, one's a hunter, and the other one's a ronin. So those are your 4 classes. But no, Nick, nice. I mean, outside of... No, because they even give you a tutorial to kind of clue you in on a lot of stuff you would have picked up in the main campaign.
Okay.
So no, I do not think you need to have played the campaign to enjoy Legends. You may be able to pick it up better because you'll be more familiar with the gameplay. Because the shit gets pretty fucking hairy, especially in survival mode, which is like Horde from Gears of War, where you just have 15 waves of AI coming at you and up to 3 other people. There's boss waves every 5, I think. It's just chaotic. But if you want to play, I highly recommend finding someone that will play with you. It obviously makes it way more fun. And if you can find 3 people to do survival. But the problem here is if you play with someone like the intern, a.k.a. Mr. Tico, who I've seen him do this before with Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. He's a guy that, you know, if he enjoys something, he takes that throttle into fucking overdrive. Like he's hitting the nitrous right now. Like there is no, oh, I like this, I'm going to casually play it and just progress as is. It's no, I love this. I got to get to like fucking max level today.
Yeah.
So we both were on even ground, dude, on Saturday. By Sunday, Sunday evening, he had taken his key level from, you know, the teens up to like 69. And I think 80 is max. And I'm just like, so it is a game like Destiny to where he no longer wants to play with me because my level's not high enough to get good gear that he would actually need. So what I'm saying, find someone that will play with you and possibly stick at your pace. And if they do progress, they'll still want to play with your lowly gear having ass.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I may jump back into it. I think the issue that I ran into with Ghost, and I don't know that you may get this same way too, Matt, is with games like that where it's like completely open world and gamers are, you know, very OCD and they tend to not just follow direct storylines. You try to do everything in an area. Like I did so much in the first act of the game that, I mean, I essentially played the first act of the game for nearly 25 hours. And I just burned myself out.
Oh, sorry. Ugh.
So,
I know exactly what you're saying. I luckily did not experience that with Ghost because I fucking loved it. I mean, it was, all right, I just dumped 30 hours into the first island. How can I dump another 30? I mean, I was looking at ways to prolong the single player, and I still didn't 100% it. I mean, the intern 100% of the motherfucker. So I think he did like all the pickups, this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
You got to finish it, Nick. This is one game I think you shouldn't torch, you should not delete, and you owe it to your inner gamer to complete before the year is out.
I love this game, and if there is one that I'm going to be, because I haven't even ordered a PS5 game yet. Like I ordered the PS5 itself, but I don't have an actual PS5 game pre-ordered. So when I get it in, more than likely I'm just going to be playing Ghosts on it, finish TLOU 2, The Last of Us 2 on it, and then move into something else from there. But really what's kind of sucked up my time, at least for the last night, was I told everybody on the stream last week that I really started feeling like playing Star Wars The Old Republic MMO again, and I
Hey, people, I'm not kidding. Like, this guy was shell-shocked from Star Wars Squadrons.
Dude, I hated it.
Like, and I was like shell-shocked. I mean, he can't even play Ghost. He's I'll let him finish, but he's essentially he is reversing his gaming.
Yeah, like
he's regressing. He's going back years.
I needed a good Star Wars experience to play again. So I was like, okay, well, all of the talk about Valkorion on the last podcast got me really interested in actually finishing the Knights of the Fallen Empire, Knights of the Eternal Throne storyline. And then you also have another expansion after that called Onslaught. So I was like, all right, you know what? The game is free anyway, so I don't have to, I've already owned it. I owned it since it released, and it's only $15 to play for a month. So I'll drop $15 and then I'll play it for a month. And if I want to play it again, I'll just pay another $15. So I started doing that. I picked up my good old Sith Marauder, my dual lightsaber guy, and started playing through the story again. And I've been really enjoying it. I actually got one of my friends that I work with to pick it up too. So we may start playing some actual MMO stuff in the near future. So that's kind of been, my gaming experience, at least from last night till today. I even played it a little bit.
You know what, Nick? I'm not going to lie. Like all that EU stuff kind of got me interested as well. And I actually, OAC reached out to me with some videos to watch for SWTOR.
Yeah.
Bro, I mean, he sent me, there's like 6 days worth of videos.
Dude, it's
like
really
how much content is in that fucking game?
Oh, I mean, look, here's the thing is like if you want to play, you can play for free. Like you can play the base game and the first 2 expansions at this point completely free.
Okay.
You can go on Steam, you can download it. I think
do I still need to spend the $15?
No, free. It is no subscription required.
Huh.
And you just play through the story. Like the storyline for the first 50 levels of every class on both sides is a unique storyline that has decision making, just like, I mean, to a little bit of a lesser degree than like, Mass Effect or something like that came later on, but to a very similar degree as it was in the original KOTOR games. You choose to play dark or light, and you choose your subclasses. Like if you want to play a tank class, if you want to play a DPS class, you want to play a healer class, and each so like your Sith warrior, your Sith assassin, your Imperial agent, and your bounty hunter all have unique single player storylines to play through for the first 50 levels. So
I mean, are they getting all their own story cutscenes, or is the overarching story? Okay, well then that's
cutscenes and everything, dude. So
I mean, I'm telling you, OAC literally sent me days and days and days. I mean, I could be sitting here like a Clockwork Orange with my eyes fucking pegged open.
Yeah.
Watching SWTOR videos, and I still think by next week's show, I would not be caught up yet.
Yeah, there's a ton of it. And, even after the first 50 levels, there is still continuing storylines, like really good storylines for you to continue to play in either, a solo capacity or along with a group of people. But it's less like focused on your individual class choice. All right.
I really need like a fucking Cliff's Notes or an hour to 2 hour long recap video. So if someone wants to make that, write it up, and then read it to me like a little baby, let me know. Right.
Yeah, so it's a very good game. It's free on Steam now. If any of you are interested in playing just the first 50 levels, like I said, is basically an incredible single player experience to go through at least 8 times. You could do it 4 times, 4 brand new stories on the dark side, 4 brand new stories on the light side, and that covers. That's at least, I'm going to say this right now. That's at least 85 hours worth of content for free. Something to think about for those of you who
I'll add that to the pile of shit I want to do, but never will do it.
Will do.
It's good to think about, but it just probably won't happen. But all right.
Yeah. The other thing that popped up for me was I voted last week. So for those of you who are in the United States, I think early voting may have ended in most places, but
I know at least where I'm at, it lasts a day up until the actual election day.
Okay, yeah. So you have to check in your local areas. I think in Texas it ends on October 30th. So check in your local areas. Go vote early. It takes less time than if you would go out on the day.
Well, it depends where you live. I'm assuming you live in a somewhat white neighborhood, so you probably have more than one location, and you're not. No, you're not waiting in like 12-hour lines like people in Georgia.
So I live in Texas, so there's like the state governor literally put in a mandate to where you could only have.
I know, it's like great. It's great.
One polling location or something like that within a certain amount of
You have to
area,
love active voter suppression in a democracy. It is fantastic.
But even like for me, it only took me and Taylor like 20 minutes to go through the line, get the vote done. So go out there. If you're in the United States, go vote.
All right.
Get it done. That's it. That's it for me.
I had something. What the hell was it? It was actually somewhat important too. Fuck. Oh well, it doesn't matter. Obviously, it's been deleted here. It has been deleted here.
Mind erased.
Bye brain. Shit. What was it? It was like a good PSA too. Oh well, if it comes back to me, we'll see. Otherwise, it is in the ether that is known as the dead space in between my two ears. I did. I got some new toys. Here he is. This Master Chief from 1000 Toys. Highly recommend if you got the cash. If you got the cash, go for it. Otherwise, those jazz wares, those are looking pretty good too. Fuck, man. I know it was something important, but it just is not going to make it.
If it pops back up in the middle of the show, you can just shout it out.
It's not coming to me. It is just, it's gonzo. Gonzo. It had nothing to do with politics either. What the fuck was it? Oh, well. All right, let's get into it, man. First off, I'm going to do a little PSA for a member of the community, also a fan of the show. If you see here on your screen, got a graphic up here from Hans Greedo. Those of you in the know, if you're in the toy photography scene, I'm sure you have seen Hans Greedo out there sharing stuff. But hit me up. There's an event going on. And it's funny. It's literally right down the street from me here in Columbus, Ohio. But this sounds like something that those of you that are into collecting toys, photography, let's say photography with toys, this may be an opportunity if you're in the area to do something interesting. Okay, you can see it, like I said, it's up on the screen right now, but it is a casting call, and here's what it says. A production company seeks game show contestants. Do you have an eye for photography? Do you have a collection of toy action figures? Do you just want to be on TV? That's me. What is going on? Pro TV Media and Reber Video, with the help of Ohio HD Video, will be holding a casting call / audition for an upcoming TV show. This production is for a non-union pilot. All ages are welcome, over 18 only. The open call is from 9 a.m. East to 12 noon East on October 22nd. So if you're listening live right now and you can't do the math, that is 2 days from now, which would make it Thursday. It is going to be COVID-19 regulated. All right, I made sure to ask about that because now they asked if I was going to come down. I will not be going down because I will have to be doing some real work. Not this type of shit, some real work. But I think we've shared this. At Hans Greedo on Instagram has all the details, but it's going down here in 2 days. If you're listening on the audio only version and you're listening on the first day it comes out, then it's a day from now. If you're listening late on the audio version only, shame on you. You're
too late. Yeah. I will say, Matt, that at the bottom it says, if I don't know what your availability looks like on Thursday, but you can schedule an audition from anytime from 12:30 to 5 p.m. So if you're open later in the day on Thursday, you can call and schedule.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see
get down there.
What type of student issues I have to deal with. But Thursday is a heavy lifting day for dealing with all my lovely students in my 3 sections of intro to hypertext markup language. Yay. All right, so there you go. There's the plug. And I am full of gas today. It is Sarlacc time show. All right, buddy. So we always try to lead with toys if we got them. And this week, luckily, there's only 2. You can tell even I'm starting to get burnt out on the toys when I start combining toy posts that really shouldn't be combined. I mean, I'm talking straight up a Hot Toys figure lumped in with a vintage collection figure type of post.
It's also like this fucking Hot Toys figure is not coming out for 2 years.
Right. And hey, you know what? I kept it in the family at least, right? They're both Fetts, so
true. So they fit together,
right? I mean, there's a line we can draw somewhere to connect these to make them fit in the same article. But anyways, last week we got new reveals for the Hot Toys Jango Fett, which is going to be a 6-scale version of Tamara Morrison. Obviously, if you're looking at the image right now on the live stream, just a fucking fantastic likeness to the Kiwi. But we also got revealed a pretty high-end looking TVC version of Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi, and that's the little guy I have pulled up on the stream right now. So, Nick, this Boba, I mean, we can sit here and go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because we are looking at a digitally rendered version of the character at this size. But I'll be honest with you, just knowing what Hasbro is doing now with the TVC, and you know, I got the 501 clones in hand and have taken them out of the box and have looked them over. I've got no doubt that Hasbro can now create this type of quality at the little eensy weensy 3 3/4 inch scale. So this Boba Fett, if printed, it looks like this, will be probably the greatest looking 3 3/4 inch figure of all time.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty fucking, like when you showed me these pictures, when I kind of clicked through them and not knowing scale, I was like, oh wow, it's just another 1/12 scale Boba Fett, looks good. But like knowing it's 1/18 scale, pretty awesome. So very clean looking figure there. Like you said, though, if it actually comes out looking like that, because digital renders always look fucking good. So
yeah, of course. I mean, if you can't make a digital render look good, which I'm not gonna lie, Hasbro fucks those up too. Just look at Darkside Ray's digital render from
she was like a little fuzzy.
Yeah, a few weeks back. It looks a little wonky, but this one looks fantastic. And like I said, I mean, as long as they maintain and continue to increase the quality like we've been seeing, those 501 clone, the 3-pack, and I know they're, I think, single carded now, it is absolutely insane what you're getting now in these little figures that truly, I mean, you could fit 3 of them in your hand. I mean, this is a scale I initially collected for years and years and years. I mean, I've only been collecting the larger scales for about 2 to 3 years now. I gave up on the little stuff because they were about as basic looking as Funko Pops. I mean, you could move their arms up and down straight. I mean, here, look at this Maul I got on the live stream. Love this little Maul, but I mean, literally, his arms go out like this, and his legs do that. So you got about 4 points of articulation and a turning head. I kind of got away from them, but seeing what they're doing now, and Nick, they're making those sets. They're making the Tantive 4 hallway from A New Hope. They made the Bespin carbon freezing chamber. Being someone that pretends he likes to do toy photography still, those types of collectibles are seeming to be a little more I don't know, maybe something I could get into these days. Thanks to the quality. They have
the 1/18 scale Razor Crest as well for the HasLab project, and if Boba Fett ends up being in season 2 of Mando, you could do a little team up there. So
now Nick he's becoming the third person that is pushing me over the edge with this addiction. I did good last week. I canceled some of those Back to the Future things.
That's good.
I held off on pre-ordering the Samurai Mando. I didn't pre-order this soon-to-be Jango Hot Toys we're going to look at. I'm getting better. I think the realization's sitting in that I currently have almost $4,000 in Hot Toys pre-orders coming out over the next year and a half.
That is fucking crazy.
And that's on top of already having about that much here. And it's starting to, a little bit of weight coming down on the soul, Nick.
Yeah.
A little bit like, oh my God, what have I done? Like we're talking down payments on cars, college tuition. And it really is, I've bungle fucked the toy hobby so much now that it's increased the buying, but because of the increased collecting and the more items coming in, it's making the toy photography hobby even itchier for myself.
Yeah.
Because it's
like
more toys in, more toys to shoot, the stress just starts to compound and I fucking shut down.
Yeah. I feel like you need to trade the 1/6 scale for the 1/18 scale. That way, at least if you're collecting things without taking pictures of them, they're smaller, so you have more room for them.
Yeah, and they're cheaper.
Way less expensive.
Oh man, it's like I am in a vicious cycle right now of I love the expensive stuff and I want to shoot it, but I have such a backlog of new toys sitting on my table. I mean, look at this guy sitting here, Master Chief. I just got the full Beskar figure arts Mando and the child. I mean, it's never ending. I've completely fucked myself. So I need to slow down on it's new. It's going to complete a wave, instant buy without even thinking about it. That shit has to stop.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as somebody who has been with you through this addiction for many years at this point. I mean, at first it's so crazy because at first when we started recording the show, you were still doing pops. Like you were a pop guy.
I loved it. Yeah, you had thought toy photography was my favorite thing to do in life. Now
and now it's like it's the bane of your existence.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I'll walk
the
up.
Life out of you.
Last week, I put in a long day of academic work. And I walk up, my dad comes, so I knew Charlie would have someone to watch him. I could probably do something that I wanted to do, right? I could do the toys. And I'm literally upstairs pacing back and forth, like, should I do toys? Should I shoot toys? No. Well, if I shoot them, what am I going to do? What am I going to set up? Should I do the hot toy? Well, the hot toy looks better. It'll be easier to shoot. Should I do that? Well, but you had this figure first. This figure came in before this figure. First in, first out. Fuck! And it's just like, okay, what am I doing with my life? All right? So anyways,
their neuroticism is really eating away.
Yeah, it really is. It's affecting the artistic process. I think that's why I'm kind of stuck in a rut with not being able to think beyond just portrait photography. Yes, limit what I got. We're getting some good feedback from the live stream here. I'm with you, people. H. Green, he's also saying taking toy photos stresses him out. See? It starts off harmless, right, people? It starts off harmless, but then like any other drug, once you get that taste and the addiction, and you are getting some of that feedback, and people are saying, hey, you actually look like you know what you're doing, and you're going, well, I don't think I do, but if he does, I better keep doing more. And then you end up like me, and you just spend thousands of dollars and literally lay them on a table as if you spent 2 cents on them. All right, so moving on from my worries here. So that's the TVC Fett, looking great. Hasbro definitely doing wonders with that scale. But this guy, Nick, I'm not going to lie, a fucking epic, fantastic looking Hot Toys figure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want a miniature Tamara Morrison, this is all you need. It's just a fantastic likeness to the man. And I'll even tell you, it's a great looking figure. At this point, though, fuck Mandalorian Hot Toys. Like, I got enough. I got 2 Boba Fetts. I'm going to have 2 Mandos. It's like enough is enough. For the most part, they all look the same, except they changed their goddamn color scheme.
Exactly. I was going to say, if you have Boba, you have Jango. The only difference is the colors and the fucking little... Actually, that's it. It's just the fucking colors. And look, this is what toy developers do. They take one figure that they can iterate on 1,000 times, and they just keep releasing it. They keep releasing it. This is exactly why we told everybody who voted for Commander Cody in the archive collection that you're dumb, because like clones are so easy. You should have taken advantage of the ability to choose something that is a little bit more unique than
Princess
just a
Leia in a
fucking
bikini,
clone.
for example.
Like, so I don't know. I mean, like, like at this point, I don't even think that we should say with Hot Toys, like, it looks amazing. Hot Toys always look amazing. Is it worth the money to buy this if you're not extremely rich? No, it's not. Like, if you're not going to photograph it, if you're not using it for something that you're really passionate about, it's really not worth getting, because all it's going to do is sit on a shelf and then lose value. So I don't know, man.
Now I remember what I was going to say. Nick finally, he finally reminded me. And by the way, all you in the live stream chat saying, oh, I'm not gonna, I've always wanted Hot Toys, I haven't done it yet, or I only got one, I'm just going to stay at one. You're all full of shit. I'm telling you right now, once you get started, once you have one of these in hand, specifically Din, like the Din, I put him to bed. He's had 2 photo shoots he's done. I want to like take him to bed. I want to take him on car rides with me. I want him to be my friend. Like, that's how amazing these things look once you get them. So my advice, don't get into Hot Toys unless you're ready to go down that fucking rabbit hole, because you will be chasing that fucking dragon for the rest of your life. But back to my point on value. These guys will retain value, Nick, because they're not mass produced. They do get EOL'd, and there's only a certain amount of inventory out there in the wild. But also, they're Star Wars figures, and Star Wars fans are assholes. Okay?
Yeah.
We will overpay just to check that little emotional box of, I just was reminded of my childhood, even though I just spent $500 on a $250 figure. So I'm not worried about that, but I still haven't gotten to the point why I have a newfound sense of I'm not that big of an asshole for collecting toys. I think I've been talking about how I'm starting to get rid of Funko Pops, not Star Wars yet, all the other ones.
Yeah.
My wife she's kind of taken the reins with this, and even more so now because she started to see what is happening, and I was wrong. Funko Pops are great for making money. I think we've sold 30 total pops for $1,200 now.
Jesus Christ.
Okay? 30 pops. Pops, when I first started buying them, I think they're $10 pop, no more than $15 pop. I will admit, I assholed out on a few and did the eBay thing and way overpaid. Like there's the Man of Steel and Batman double set from SDCC 15, I believe. I spent $250 on it. It's a fucking $30 set. So yeah, I'm going to lose a little bit on that, but think about that. 30 pops, $1,200.
Can't argue with that. So,
I have over 500 of these things.
Well, you should make back all the money that you have wasted on the Hot Toys now.
Well, Nick, you can't say that out loud, because Heather thinks that all this money she sees, she's like, oh, look at this. I can do home projects and shit. I'm like, oh, yeah, you can. Except I already have $3,400 in pre-orders. So,
yeah. So here's what I've heard from Matt. When I actually get into a space where I am starting to make money and I can like buy some extraneous things, I'm just going to start buying Hot Toys and becoming a scalper.
Yeah.
110%.
Right.
I'm going to buy them when they come out. I'm going to hold them for 2 weeks until they're sold out, and I'm going to sell them for $800.
Well, no, I mean, this is what you should do. Not the Hot Toys. You need to learn how to create checkout cart bots or write scripts that can kind of break a site's bots cart system, because where these assholes make their money, it's not necessarily on these big beautiful ones. These really are kind of long-term Hot Toys, standard Funko Pop shit like that. Where the flippers, and the reason they do this shit, Nick, is because they'll take advantage of assholes like me and the FOMO feeling on, we've bitched about it multiple times on this show, when you have like a retailer exclusive. So what you need to do is get good at that shit. So when Target does their next exclusive Star Wars figure, you go in, you snag up like 10 of them, and then ask upwards of 300 to 400% markup on eBay, and just do that. That's where you make your money. This stuff, I wouldn't push you there, because you'd have to sit on it for a few years to see a return. And that's really what I'm getting on the Pops. And the crazy thing with the Pops, dude, we're only going through like my 2015 and 16 so far. We haven't even gotten to the 2010 when the line started. So
like the older ones. Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. Matt's making some money.
I was impressed. I really thought the Pops I would have to give them away, but nope. There's motherfuckers spending at least $10 a pop. Yes, we have some shipping costs with packaging and whatnot, but fuck that. Fuck it. Sell them things. If I start selling my Star Wars Pops, get out of here. I'm going to fucking retire. I mean, there's some Star Wars Funkos apparently going for $1,500 that I have, so...
Yeah, I would sell that in a heartbeat. Get the fuck rid of that thing.
Exactly. It was funny. The intern's like, hey, man, if you start selling Star Wars Pops, I'm never talking to you again, because I'm the one that got him addicted to this shit. It's like, hey, live and learn. Sometimes we grow up and we move on. I've moved on to the art pieces.
Yeah.
All right, man. So that's that for the toy collecting segment of this episode. But word of advice, Don't be me, okay? That's the lesson learned from that segment. Don't be me, okay? I think everyone knows that, right?
Yeah.
Because 4 inches is fine. All right, Nick. So up next, we had an update on the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. All right, we got a few more details about this. We learned that 3 Star Wars movie actors will be reprising their roles in the special, which is set to air on Disney Plus on November 17. Mm-hmm. First off, though, we got to look at the poster that they issued.
I love this poster.
It's so on brand for Lego Star Wars. I mean, really, Lego anything, it's perfect. Those of you that can't see it, it's literally a poster of a little severed Lego minifigure hand with a bow on it, and it says, "To Luke from your father."
Yeah. I mean, that's all it is. That's all it is. Just a red background with that on it. Perfect. I mean, really.
I love it. I mean, and that just goes to show you that this Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, say what you will about the sequel and its characters, as long as you're not a jerk off, you're going to enjoy this. You're going to smile. You're probably going to have a laugh. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cheeky. Okay. And we know that just from this poster.
This is going to be far better than the original holiday special.
Yeah, but we also learned that we're getting 3 of the movie actors as well as a few of the animated voice actors. So the 3 movie actors are none other than Big Bad Billy Dee Williams himself.
Nice.
Anthony Daniels, because of course. I mean, he's literally... Anthony, you gotta love the guy.
He's Mr. Star Wars.
I hope the dude never hired an agent, because he's only done C-3PO's entire career because he's only needed to do C-3PO his entire career, because he's literally gotten himself into everything that has C-3PO in it. And good for him. I ain't hating on a man trying to make a living. It's just, I hope he doesn't pay for a management team because they're not doing anything for him.
Yeah,
right.
I totally agree.
I mean, let's be real. Of course, they're going to ask Anthony Daniels to voice C-3PO. It's like, but what else has the man done?
Anthony needs to be like the next Richard Attenborough or David Attenborough, whichever one does the voiceover of all these nature shows. Yeah, there you go.
Right, because it always sounds better and more intelligent when British people do that type of stuff.
Exactly. Like if we need somebody to do those shows moving forward, it needs to be Anthony Daniels. He doesn't have quite as deep of a voice as whatever Attenborough does it, but he has a perfect delivery. Oh yeah, almost like a sing-song quality to his voice. Of course.
I mean, the guy is really, he used to be one of the main MCs at the early Star Wars celebrations. I think episodes and episodes ago, I've talked about how me and Stunt Buddy went to Celebration 2 in Indianapolis. Yeah, just like 2 degenerates. I mean, fucking dressed up like Jedi, cosplaying when no one cosplayed, just cutting in lines that people waited in for days. And one of them was emceed by Anthony here, and I think it was for George. But to warm up the crowd, he's going around asking people questions, and he came right up to me, and I was a little bit out of my mind, maybe on like Planet X. And he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "You're not afraid of me, are you?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." Like, I just deadpan looked at him, and it was actually a pretty fun moment, because I don't think he was expecting me to not play around with what he was trying to do. Like, I just came out because I was a little bugged out. I was fucked up. I was like, "Dude, what the fuck, man? C-3PO's talking to me right now. What the?" And I was like, "No, man, I'm not afraid of you. Get away." And it's like everyone was laughing, but it was fun. But we can talk about those stories at a later date. That was still one of the most raw and unique Star Wars fan experiences I've ever had as a young man. I think I would have been 22 when did Clone? No, 2001 was when Clones came out. No, yes, 2002. Yeah, 2002. Yeah, 22.
Well, Celebration 2 was right before.
Anyways, yes, I have a personal interaction with the great Anthony Daniels. But the last character, or the last actor we have not mentioned yet, is none other than Kelly Marie Tran. Yes. So she's getting another spin behind Rose Tico. I'm thinking the quote we get in here from James Waugh, who's the EP of the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special, She has a really prominent role throughout the story. This story works in an A-B way. The A story is on Kashyyyk, where Rey, Poe, Rose, and Finn are trying to create the greatest Life Day party ever for Chewie and his family. Then the B story is Rey going off to seek knowledge at the Jedi Temple that takes her across the movie's history. Rose's role in this, It Too, really takes charge. She basically saves the day in many ways. We wanted to make sure we got a lot of Kelly in, as Rose was going to be an essential part of whatever the Resistance Heroes' future was going to be after Episode 9, and she was a blast to work with. So
there we go. Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't a great sounding quote. I'm not that dumb. That is how it is written.
That's how James Waugh said it.
Excuse me.
That's how whoever at EW wrote it.
Right. It's like reading the feedback from some of you morons.
Dude,
but
I listened to the podcasts from last week and me reading those responses, and I was struggling, but I blame it completely on you guys because you don't know how to.
We do. We end up sounding like we didn't make it through first grade English. We're like, eat,
I know,
beat,
right?
bop, boot, doot, deet,
like Matt and I are both college graduates, and we can't read the Instagram sentences you send us.
Me like Sith bad. Me like Sith kill Jedi good.
But yeah, and in terms of the animated actors that are coming back,
hey Nick, first off, like I'm gonna go here. Is this a mea culpa to Kelly Marie Tran? Like, is this them trying to throw her the smallest of dog bones over apparently getting her role shortchanged?
I think they likely offered these roles to basically everybody who was in the show. They probably like half-heartedly made an offer to Daisy, John, and Isaac. Just be like, hey, look, guys, I know it's voiceover, but it's a holiday special. Do you want to be involved? No? Okay, thanks. They probably threw it out to everybody who was going to be in it. And, Kelly probably was the only one to accept.
They just, Billy, he's going to take a check. Why not?
Billy's also 80-something years old. Billy's like, you know what, man? I like Lando. I like doing this shit, so fuck it. I'm going to do it. Matt Lanter is also returning as Anakin Skywalker. He was the voice of Anakin in Clone Wars. Tom Kane is going to be playing Yoda and Qui-Gon Jinn, so Qui-Gon's going to be in it. James Arnold Taylor, the voice of Obi-Wan Kenobi, he is coming back as well, and D. Bradley Baker is going to be all of the clone troopers. So everybody who played those roles in Clone Wars will be reprising their role.
The live stream is live, as they say today. They've been good. I've had more than a few just random laughs at some of the nonsense they're going. But here we got Nico, words am hard. Yes. Joe, me like type words and shit. Yeah, I mean that's us. So you should know I can barely even read words and shit. So when you guys are actually giving us shit that are supposed to be words, it gets very confusing up in my head.
Yeah.
But I do like that they grab some movie actors for this. It always makes the Lego stuff a little more authentic. Like you, there's at this point, they're not even calling John Boyega.
Johnny is out of there.
I don't think they're even trying the other two, because they've all have come out after TROS and essentially said, yeah, Star Wars, peace.
Thanks for the opportunity, but I will be moving.
Yeah, it's pretty much thanks. We thought it was going to be magical and change our lives, but it ended up kind of sucking, and see ya.
Yeah, so it is nice to see these three back, though. Like you said, Anthony Daniels will always be down for C-3PO, and it's nice to see Kelly back behind the Rose character as well. So should be fun. November 17th is when it drops on Disney Plus. So if for some reason you're not subscribed already ahead of The Mandalorian, make sure you're subbed up even for the holiday special.
Which is a little over a week away, by the way, my friends.
Yeah, Mando, 10 days. 10 days away.
We're getting there. I think next week we may have to do some sort of
Mando prep show.
Yeah, like a listicle or guesses, predictions, that type of shit.
Yeah.
We did get some screens from the special. It looks like Rey will be sporting her yellow saber as she's dueling with Vader. Yep. Looks like Lando will be teaming up with Janna again. And
so Naomi Aki's not even back as Janna.
No. And Maz will be in there. It looks like Chewie's big daddy. Wicket.
Yeah, Chewie's dad is there. You got some of the off-world...
Yeah, off-world Jawas.
Jawas
How about
there
that?
As well.
Is that Greedo's dirty ass?
I was wondering if that's Greedo, but he looks a little bit more gray.
Yeah, well, maybe he's older, right? Maybe they dug his ass up, and it's weekend at Greedo's now.
Yeah, I know. They're just burning him. He's just carrying him around like this. But yeah, it's good to
Max
see.
Rebo's back there.
Oh yeah, he is behind the drums.
Yeah, I mean, they said, I mean, it's spanning, I think, all 9 Skywalker films, so you should get an eclectic mix of characters.
Yeah.
Something coming through on the stream here. I did see this, but I guess we'll announce it since it is somewhat quasi Lucasfilm-ish, sort of not related. But Willow, everyone knows the Willow movie. I think that was who? Ron Howard.
Yes.
Did that with our buddy Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis.
But they just put out there on the wires, and this is official, that Willow is getting a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, that had kind of been bumping around the internet for a little while, so it's good to see that it is official now. And I think that Warwick is coming back, right?
I would hope so, considering he was one of the main characters, right?
Yeah, he was.
I need to watch that movie again because
people watch that movie.
Yeah, I watch it. Obviously when it came out, and I was young, and I probably thought it was great. I need to now see it. Like, was it good, or is it kind of? You know what I'm talking about? There are some movies from the 80s and 90s that, when you were younger,
really hold up
yeah,
well.
you were probably like, these are fucking great. But when you watch it now, you're like, hey, ho.
Yeah, if you look at the cast from back in the day, they had some good names in it. Like Warwick played Willow, so he was the title character. Then Val Kilmer.
I was gonna say, isn't Val Kilmer in this shit?
Yeah. And then after that, Kevin Pollak was in it. Which, if you are familiar with 80s, 90s films, you know who Kevin Pollak is. And after that, it gets into, you don't really know who these players are anymore. I believe some of the children in the show ended up becoming like bigger actors in Hollywood, but I don't know who any of them are necessarily.
It was, I'm not going to say it was like a blockbuster. It's just kind of one of those eclectic 80s, 90s types of movies. Real fantastical. It's on Disney Plus. I just need to fire it up. I've been kind of going through old shit on that anyways. This weekend I threw up The Rocketeer.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I still kind of like it. I love the music. It has a great score. Like, it's just one of those movies that has a really nice theme to it. But its visual effects are rough at this point. It's not CG, right? So it's still trying to do that rotoscoping type of stuff with the flying. But I think one of the reasons I brought it up was just to see the scene that Heavy Mando provides an homage to in S1E3 of The Mandalorian when he flies up and salutes. That is 100% a nod to an exact mirrored scene in The Rocketeer.
Yeah.
All right, man.
So good stuff there. New holiday special. We all kind of thought this might be coming down the pipe, especially once Disney got it, and especially once Jon Favreau said that he would want to do it.
Yeah, I know. And there's
Favreau's
people
attached to it.
I think it was Spencer who got all butthurt that they opted for a Lego animated version versus letting Jon have a crack at it. But
who are you gonna like? You can't make it with anybody if you're gonna do live action. Like, Mark Hamill's not coming back. Daisy Ridley's not coming back. Boyega's not coming back. Oscar, like all of these actors who would have been integral to making a holiday special live action aren't going to do it.
No.
Carrie's dead. It's too hard to do it now because nobody is going to be there. Like with the original holiday special, you still had all your core. You had your core 3 still there.
No, you might be able to get Harrison back if he keeps getting in trouble with his planes. Like, I don't know how recent this is, but I think he just illegally crossed a runway in front of a commercial jet because he didn't fucking hear the traffic controller the right way.
He was probably just stoned. That he gets high and he flies.
Oh man, I do love Harrison. I love him. He is a unique dude considering the major roles and characters he's played. Just the animosity he has towards most of them is just that's what makes him authentic. And the fact that in real life the motherfucker has saved at least 3 or 4 people in either a helicopter or a plane, and has crashed a plane at least 3 or 4 times and lived.
Walk the fuck away from it. Man,
dude, literally, he just fucking crashed on a golf course. He crashes in home developments. He's fucking great. He really is Han Solo.
I guess that just goes to show you that this motherfucker really is a good pilot. Like, because if you can crash and just walk away, you know that you crashed well.
He knows how to crash. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Star Wars comic time. It's comic recap time with your buddy Matt here. And boy, oh boy, did we get a special one last week in the form of Darth Vader number 6, 2020. So this, just like the proper Star Wars run, this issue is kicking off a whole new narrative thread, Nick, and wow. Oh, wow. What a way to kind of kick off a new Darth Vader story. I mean, my title should speak volumes. Basically, this is how I recap this issue. And if you don't want any spoilers, tune out for a few minutes, but Darth Vader number 6, here we go. Here's my title. This is how I envisioned this issue. This was the main thing. Palpatine brutally tortured Vader after he failed to bring Luke to the dark side during Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, that was a pretty hardcore title.
And brutally is an understatement. Like, I'm talking the worst type of torture in fiction and in nonfiction. I mean, beheading someone would be more humane than what Sheev did to our buddy Anakin in this issue. It is just brutal. I mean, you get to see exactly why last week people were putting Palpatine up as the top Sith of all time. Nick, he not only showed you his just mental powers of fuckery, but he even broke out some of his force powers and showed us that just because he looks like he should be in an old age home does not mean that he cannot fuck up the former chosen one as if he were just doing some practice. I mean, he didn't even fucking break a sweat, Palpatine.
Wow.
And just broke down his apprentice literally and figuratively to pieces. All right, so here we go. Really, the best canon this added to the Star Wars universe is what Palpatine does to Vader. I mean, he cripples his ass and drops him off on Mustafar right where he found the dead Anakin. All right, so you want to talk about fucking with your apprentice? You want to talk about trying to get someone on the angry side again? I think Palpatine knows a thing or two about that. So the issue literally kicks off with, you see an outside shot of what is now Palpatine's palace, but we know it to be the Jedi Temple. And Nick, it looks like lightning has come down from the heavens and is emanating out of the top tower. Like, even stormtroopers are looking back going, holy shit, what the fuck is Palpatine doing?
Wow.
Okay, and we see Palpatine is essentially trying to kill Vader immediately after the end of the last issue, when Vader kind of let Palpatine know, like, hey, I know I failed bringing Luke to you, and I kind of went out on my own mission to figure out some things about Padme. I figured it out. You lied to me. Well, that's not something you want to say to Palpatine, because he sees that as weakness. He now realizes that angry Vader that he had at a pretty pissed off point up until the Luke fight in Empire is now becoming that weak Anakin again. The weak Anakin that he convinced to come to the dark side. So he proceeds to first test him with some lightning. He bathes him in that. Vader defends himself. Then Mas Amedda's slobby ass comes in, so we get a prequels era Easter egg here. He's like some mega. I would equate Mas Amedda. He is Palpatine's essentially vice president at this point in time.
Okay.
So Mas Amedda comes in, a nobody, just some politician. He starts talking shit about Vader. He's like, Vader, you fucking lied to us. You're essentially a traitor. You should have came right back here after you failed to bring Luke to your emperor, you piece of shit. So he sicks some Imperial guards on Vader. It's Vader. He busts out his laser sword. He's like, whatever, get away. What does Palpatine do? He goes, no, Vader. Too easy. Sucks his lightsaber away from him as he's fighting two Imperial guards. So they start to beat on Vader a bit. They're getting some cheap shots. Again, He's Darth fucking Vader. He realizes this. So what does he do? He force chokes all three of the motherfuckers taunting him right now. The two IGs and Masamida. Now Palpatine's like, good. Like he's starting to get off again. He's getting a little hard on seeing Vader getting angry. All right. But he's not angry enough. So Palpatine literally goes like, okay, you want to use your force choke move on these schlubs? Let me show you mine. So now Palpatine force chokes Vader, lifts him up into the air, is choking the fucking breathing apparatus, the life out of him. At this, basically taunting him like, oh, this is what you like to do? This is how you like to fucking torture my lieutenants and my admirals and shit? How does it feel? Yeah, like trying to, like, really egging him on.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop at the neck, Nick. He proceeds to use the Force to crush Vader's fake limbs. So his one arm and two legs. He just crushes them like you'd see at a junkyard when they crush a car. Like just fucking nothing. Crushes it. That's not enough. He then picks him up and essentially fucking body slams him to the ground. Legs pop off, arm pops off, Vader's smoking. I mean, literally, he's been reduced to the lump of flesh that Palpatine found on the banks of a Mustafarian river at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Jesus.
But it's still not over. It's still not over. All right? So at this point, he has crippled Vader. Vader is essentially back to Anakin.
Yeah, he can't move. He has no limbs.
Right. Doesn't have his lightsaber. So what does Palpatine do? Is the lesson over? Has he made his apprentice angry enough yet? No.
I would assume no.
No. He still thinks he's a pussy. So he fucking loads him up in a shuttle. They take a ride over to Mustafar, to the exact bank that Palpatine and those Coruscant guards found Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith, where Palpatine's like, oh no, I gotta save my dude. But now Palpatine, instead of wanting to save him, throws him on the bank so he catches on fire again. Literally, his leg stumps are burning. Fucking Palpatine! He's so great.
Holy shit. Throws
his lightsaber out of arm's reach, so Vader has to drag his carcass up there to get it. And adds this caveat. As Vader's, he's like, fuck it, I'll just use the Force to give me my lightsaber. He goes, no, Vader. Here is your test. Because you pussed out on me. Because you reverted to that weak-ass fucking Anakin bitch boy over Padme. I am here to teach you a lesson again. You've been broken down, beaten down. You are definitely angry at me again. You definitely want to kill me. That's where I want you to be. But your challenge is not done yet, because you're still not back to that killing drone that I had perfected before you found out you had a fucking son. So he tells him this. He's like, the last time I found you here, I saved you. I rebuilt you. I made you who you are. This time, you have to do it by yourself. And you can't use the Force.
Wow.
He's like, if I sent you using the Force, I will kill you immediately. So they leave him, literally, Nick, sitting there in the bank again. It's so familiar to Anakin, he even has a flashback of seeing Obi-Wan leave him as the Emperor is leaving him. But in true Vader fashion, here's the best part. In true Vader fashion, the thing that motivates him to pull his busted ass up and figure out a way to rebuild himself by himself without the Force.
Kenobi.
Yes. Yes.
Kenobi.
Was that vision of Kenobi walking away. And it doesn't matter. Kenobi's dead. He killed Kenobi. But what he realized in this moment, Nick, because he had that flashback, then he had a flashback to him defeating Kenobi on the Death Star in A New Hope. But at that same time, he realized he did not kill Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know if it was through the Force or he sensed that Kenobi still lived. And that, knowing that, he literally says he lives. That's when he pulls himself up and obviously, goes into the next issue. But the way this one ends,
I mean, Kenobi basically told him to when he was going to kill him. He's like, if you kill me, I'm just going to become more powerful than you could ever imagine.
Right.
So.
But Vader, clearly he didn't know that Kenobi, he didn't even know Jedi could do that, quite frankly, at that point in time. But it was something when he had that flashback, and then I don't know if he was starting to use the Force because Palpatine's face kind of superimposes over Obi-Wan's in A New Hope. And that's when Vader's like, a light bulb goes off and he's like, he lives. And like I said, that was enough for him to pull himself up on Mustafar and figure out a way to fix himself, which they kind of give hints. Apparently, there's an old Techno Union factory on Mustafar. They were big in the building machines, droids, so I'm assuming Vader's going to head there to rebuild his limbs. But it is teased, so the issue ends going back to Mas Amedda and Palpatine, and Mas Amedda's like freaking out. He's like, dude, he wants to fucking kill you now. And Palpatine's like, oh, really? Oh, really? No shit, Sherlock. I'm doing exactly what I want to do. You see that cycle? I just broke him down, made him angry. I will do that over and over and over until he's back to just no nonsense, no bullshit, no weakness, Darth Vader. So he's like, you know what? To make this even more of a nightmare for Darth Vader, I'm going to send my Sith assassin after him, Ochi of Bestoon.
The good old Tross.
There you go.
Throwback.
So we got a little tie-in to the Tross. We're going to get a little more about this Ochi character to kind of really see who and what he was, how he was used. But at this point in time, in true Sith fashion, the fucking Emperor is using a Sith assassin to try to assassinate his chosen one apprentice, all with the hope of making his apprentice angrier.
Nice.
Beautiful. I mean, it's just beautiful.
That is literally the type of shit that Palpatine, that we never saw Palpatine do, but we kind of knew. Like, Palpatine fucked with this guy to no end, and now we get to see like what level he would go to.
Right. I mean, you really
there.
You get none of it in the movies, really, outside of Vader's really subservient to this guy for some reason.
Yeah,
right.
And you never figure out why. You're like, okay, well, I guess this guy's really just that badass.
Right. And you really in the original movies, even as you see it play out, you still don't get like how this big imposing dude in black armor would be so scared of Palpatine.
Yeah, and even through the prequels, like the prequels didn't even give you that reason for Anakin to fear him.
Right.
Like, if anything, like you would think that Anakin and Palpatine would be buddy-buddy, because all through the prequels, even like you were mentioning in this comic run, up until the end, like Palpatine saves his life, and you're like,
well, he
okay,
did. I mean, let's go back to Revenge, Nick. When he shows up, like he's like, oh no. Like, oh no, Vader, we got to help him. We got to do something before I completely lose the chosen one to death. But this time, there's no bullshit. You can tell their relationship over the, what do we decide, 18 plus years it's been since that moment. It has hit that full-on Sith and Sith apprentice relationship where they both fucking hate each other. The apprentice wants to kill the master. The master is always looking for better apprentices. But Palpatine was just fucking brutal. Yeah. Like I didn't go over the exact quotes, but we've always said this about the man. He is more of a mental assassin than a physical beast. But this issue gave us both. It showed how he can just destroy Vader physically and mentally without even doing more than bending his elbow. Like, I'm telling you, like, when we see Vader do his major Force stuff, I mean, he gets animated, his body's in it. You can almost feel the Force emanating off him and the power. Palpatine, it really does. It just looked like some old person stands up out of their wheelchair and then just fucking flips on this switch. Like, you can't fuck with this guy.
That's kind of like Snoke in Episode 8. Like when he was in the throne room with Rey and Kylo.
Right.
I mean, and now we know that was Palpatine anyway. But yeah, like literally just like flicking fingers around, like just not paying any attention to what's going on.
I mean, Nick, those of you, if you watch the video, I appreciate the views have gone up a bit, but go through it because you can actually see some of the art. You can see. I always make sure to capture some of the panels that are just, first off, breathtaking looking art, but that also just kind of exudes the power that we would love to see. And I know we've seen some comments in the live stream here. Yes, This is the stuff that would just, I think, make all of us, our heads would explode if we got to see just this issue play out in live action. I mean, could you imagine watching Vader just get literally crushed like an aluminum can?
Yeah. I mean, it's everything that we've ever wanted in terms of a Vader standalone or a Vader / Palpatine like Sith focused movie. But man, it's I need to get back into the comic lines. I'm trying to, not spend a lot of money right now.
I know. I mean, I'll tell you what. I know last week we did the Star Wars #7, and I wasn't too high on that new narrative where it's going, the battle between Zara and Princess Leia. I mean, it'll pick up, but I can tell you right now, this thread where it's essentially Vader is on a quest to rebuild himself before Palpatine's assassins can kill him, I think it's going to produce some epic Vader / Palpatine / Sith Order type of narratives. So stay tuned. I mean, I'm all in on these two comic runs, the Vader and the Star Wars in 2020. We will not have a new one now until November, but I'll be cranking them out there just as I fire up the Mandalorian Season 2 video machine. So keep at it.
Yeah. So next up for our show list of things to talk about. We really, this isn't anything hard. This is, again, going back to some Star Wars leaks, quote unquote. The KRT team has decided to come out of hiding and try to throw out some information that may turn out to be true, but probably won't turn out to be true. So first one up we have here is some Bad Batch info from the KRT team. They tried to throw out a potential release date for Bad Batch, but really all they did was guess at the month that it could come out. So,
and it's not even it's a 2-month window. I mean,
yeah. So
in the end, we talk about these people to educate other fans.
These are again fortune tellers that are trying to read the tea leaves and figure out.
And we'll set it up for those of you who are new to the Kessel Run's transmission guys. They did hit on the Bad Batch call. I still think it was kind of lucky, but hey, they hit on it. And
here's what they did to get the Bad Batch right. They said, "We hear that Lucasfilm is working on a show about clones." And that was it.
Well, no, I do believe they actually put a name to it as it got closer. Okay. But they've thrown a lot of bullshit out there. And really the reason, again, that we bring it up, it's for education. I want to get it. I'm the one that kind of wants to talk about this nonsense because, you know me, I'm the Star Wars fan narcissist. I feel like everyone should want to listen to Nick and I and not people like these two. But I shit you not. There is a coordinated effort on Star Wars leaks on Reddit for these guys. Because I don't know, Nick, was that Wednesday or Thursday? It's Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. But the entire front page of Star Wars Leaks subreddit was random tweets from these two guys. Throwing out shit like this. Like, oh yeah, hey, Bad Batch, that show we got right, it's coming out sometime in 2021. Okay, cool. Nick and I were saying shit like that last week for Kenobi. Like, what's the difference? I mean, I'll tell you now, Kenobi's probably not going to be till 2022, but what are we talking about here? It's not even these guys doing that. You know, good for them. It's the fucking ding-dong zombies that take all their content and throw it up on Reddit like it's gospel. I'm glad to see, like, I'll drill into their posts on Reddit, and it's good to see that it's just not 100% KRT cult Kool-Aid, like, oh my God, yes, these guys are always right. I loved it. Yes, Bad Batch this. Wait till we talk about their next one they're throwing out there. But you're starting to get a mix of like, what is this subreddit has literally become a KRT subreddit. These guys have hit on one thing, have missed on thousands. Why do they still keep getting upvotes, this, that, and the other thing? So that's really what chaps my ass. It's like, is the fix in? I mean, how does one outlet get 6 front page fucking Reddit upvoted posts?
It's just because they know the moderators. I mean, Reddit is a complete cesspool of nothingness anyway. If you build a community, I mean, like I could start a subreddit called Star Wars Leaks 2, and if people start coming to it and it becomes popular, then I basically become the
you're not supposed to, but I know Reddit mods do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, I mean, like, and they don't really give a fuck. Like they really just don't. They don't care. They take the information from people they like and they make sure that it gets boosted. So, I mean, with this shit, this is what their leak is, quote unquote. They say small update on the Bad Batch. They're targeting a March/April release. Hopefully, we'll get an official date by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So nothing. Like all they're saying is, hey, last year when we had the Mando into animated series flow, we went Mando through December, early Jan, and then we had February, March, right. April is when...
We're not talking rocket science here, Nick.
Yeah, this is literally just saying like, hey, this is a TV schedule.
Yeah, and thank you. It's the same thing we did last week with Kenobi when I worked it out in my head. I'm like, if they're shooting in March, they could be done principal in the summer. They technically could wrap for an end of 2021 launch of Kenobi, but why would you want to cannibalize what has seemingly become the launch period for The Mandalorian, your flagship? So I was like, I'm not that intelligent. I'm not in TV myself, but knowing what I know and the way Disney Plus has been programmed so far, it would make sense that Kenobi is probably going to be their Q1, Q2 2022 release.
Yeah.
That's no different than what's happening here. Just like Nick said, the first year, the cadence on Disney Plus was Mando, Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Hey.
And it's going to follow the same exact fucking thing. So this is not, and then here's what is fucking hilarious. It says, what gets me really pumped for the Bad Batch is we've heard from our animation source that it's the same quality as the Clone Wars. Like, of course it's the same quality as the Clone
no
Wars.
Shit. Well, Nick, here's the deal, and I'm glad you're finally starting to get angry at this type of stuff. And it's not so much even the anger directed at someone like a Corey Van Dyke. It's the fucking idiots that buy into it. Like, if you go and look at their Twitter or even on Reddit, I mean, they're like, oh yeah, fucking thanks, man. That's awesome. Sweet. It's like, what, they're going to like go back to 2008 Clone Wars animation? Like, what fucking planet do we live on?
It's like, no, they're actively aiming to make this show worse than the Clone Wars.
No, fuck it. Update. They're going pixel art.
Yeah, like
it's like, get the fuck out of here.
We're trying to make this a worse version of what you just saw.
Right. So
of
there's
course
that
it's
one.
Going to be as good of quality. Do you think that Disney Plus or that Disney and Lucasfilm in general are going to aim to make something of lower quality than the last thing that they released?
They're like,
when it's using the exact same technology and animation team. Of course not.
Yeah, they're going back to like Snow White style animation for the Bad Batch.
It's like,
you heard it here first.
Star Wars Leaks, again, the Star Wars Leaks subreddit is a joke that has just become, it's basically become a retweet area for KRT.
I mean, as scummy as he may or may not be, them not making Star Wars content has really removed a lot of the good leaks because, I mean, let's be real. The guy, love him or hate him, he had a legit source.
Yeah, he had an actual source.
And I'm telling you right now, these guys share the source. They just don't get the good information.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because, I mean, Corey was looped in with Jason, 100%.
Yeah.
That Noah guy at one point in time was looped in with Jason. I mean, I know why these guys got a kind of a turbo start to their Star Wars nonsense that you and I do. I mean, they had a large Star Wars fan account to boost them. Whatever. This next one, this is the one, Nick, that I'm just like, my God.
This next one is so continuing on with the bullshit.
So this one started from the other site that has put out nothing but bullshit so far, that LRM online nonsense. And then it's like these two just shake each other's hands because then the Corey came in like, or Noah's like, oh yeah, we've heard about this too. We can corroborate what LRM is saying. There's going to be a Bo-Katan and Cara Dune spinoff. And I'm just like, all right. I mean, unless Bo really is going to be in Mando, and her and Cara have some sort of extraordinary relationship that makes sense. Like, on what planet does a cold start Bo-Katan Cara Dune show make sense?
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I tried to break down.
Like,
in
what
the
are we
post
talking about?
This is that there, like, if anything, this has to take place post Mando season 2 to make any realm of sense at all. Because if you're trying to set this in a pre-Mandalorian world where these two characters are for some reason working together, it just doesn't work.
I mean, here's the deal. We have heard from Favreau and Filoni, like, yo, we've set the table. We did a great job. People love us. We made a lot of money. People don't hate us. So now we can kind of do what we want. We want to start expanding the Star Wars universe, bringing in more characters. We have heard that Bo could come in. So like Nick said, definitely, and I assume that's what they are aiming at. It's just the pairing is odd. So if we want to believe it, let's just say we believe something like this.
Yeah.
This is 100% confirming then that Bo-Katan is going to show up in Mando S2, and that her and Cara are going to either have an episode together or something happens to where it would make sense to invest $100 million into a series about these two being buddies.
The only thing that I can think of is that, it would be a female-led show, which is, very popular right now for most
and we know
services.
Apparently that girl that did produce Russian Dolls or whatever is show running a show that could have female leads.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get extra worked up when it comes from Kessel Run's transmissions because of all the shit I just explained. Some of it's not healthy. Some of it is justified. Some of it, it's just my mental problems. The rumor groundwork has been laid for a series like this. So I don't get me wrong. It's not like I would hate this series. It's just on paper and the way they kind of prosed it sounds silly. It doesn't make sense. Like something has to happen in the Mandalorian, and it has to be very clear. It can't just be Bo-Katan and Cara team up for whatever reason, say hello, and then now we have a show. Like, one has to save the other. They have to go on a precarious mission that's life and death
to do something or something like that. Like there's no way. Like we were saying, one, there's no way, period, that this could happen pre-Mandalorian timeline because the two characters were doing completely different things that were unassociated with each other. So it has to be post-Mando S2. It can't even be post-Mando S1. It has to be post-Mando S2. Right. And it has to have, and then that would essentially hard confirm Bo-Katan in it, which I think it's basically confirmed that Sackhoff is at least in season 2 of Mandalorian, and I think it's confirmed that she's in season 2 of Mandalorian as Bo-Katan. So because that was like THR had put that out there and everything like that. So
yeah, but dude, I still think, and that's what gets me even more heated. These sites are now sourcing KRT and the LRM onlines. That's the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like THRs, like those, and not that they're even gospel, but sites, pop culture sites of that level are now sourcing these dudes.
Yeah. And it all came from this. So it all came from this. Katie Sackhoff liked the tweet that says from
yes.
the Star Wars underworld that is reporting about this
your boy
rumor.
Noah put that out. Like he's like, hey, look, Katie liked my retweet of this other site that ran with our just kind of fecal throwing at the wall, so it's legit.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you never know. Like I said, I mean, I'm not completely shitting on this idea of a show. A lot of stuff has to happen. It's just when these days, when I see stuff from KRT based on their track record at this point, I have to, very, very, very tiny grains of salt. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I typically think that anything that they put out is bullshit until I hear it from somebody else, because in my opinion they are not sources. They are
they're speculators. Guessers. They're like us, but they're treated as leakers. I mean, I speculate my ass off on a weekly basis on this show and on my dumb videos. No one fucking listens. That's the difference.
Yeah.
For some reason, they trick people to listen. That's what pisses me off.
Who knows? I mean, all we have to do, like, we'll never get on Star Wars leaks, which is just a very sad thing.
That's fine. But, I mean, really, I know what we need at this point. If we really want other Star Wars fans to come from us, we can't. I mean, our diehards. You would think at this point they've done what they've done. I mean, there's like 10 to 15 of them. We can't ask them to always go out there and preach the good talk, hold people hostage. Hold guns to their head to like the show. We need to start asking some of these other bigger accounts if we can just come and play with them. We do. If it's me going and doing it or you going and doing it, a guy like Star Wars Theory, that's someone we should link up with. I think he would come do our show even with low numbers, and all that would mean his 2.5 million subscribers would know he's doing our show. Yeah. Star Wars Explained. He's another huge guy. That's someone we should probably talk to. It's just, I don't know. I say we a lot, but I think it's me needs to do this because I'm the one that wants the notoriety, the bigger following. Nick could give a flying fuck. Yeah. I mean, I've already tried to reach out to, like, even before like MSW went down, like tried to reach out to that guy about like linking up with them and doing some sort of like co-hosted podcast or getting on their network of podcasts. And he never even responded to me. I've reached out to different podcast networks about that are like geek centric or related to that. And nobody ever got back. So who the fuck knows? But I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to just start being annoying Matt again. Like I did for those first 5 years when I started EB and I had no contacts in gaming media and just literally email, social media until someone says yes or go fuck yourself. Yeah. Or you'd be like our buddy Greg. He actually did get blocked from the KRT team and we applaud him for that. He got blocked. Yeah. Thank you, Greg. Well done, Greg. Thank you. He did throw some shit at them. He did fire over the bow, but they just laughed him off and blocked him. But it's fine. We know they're dildos and we know we're not. We're douchebags, but better than being a dildo. This Cara Dune Bo-Katan show, I guess we'll see if it happens based off of what happens in Mando S2, but right now, no reason to actually believe anything that's in. Tone's saying get guest photographers on who have high followings to gain more listeners. We did that. We tried that. It doesn't work. The only one that really promotes is Sir Dork. It's a different type of audience, you know? No, exactly, like because that would bring in people that are more interested in that photographer, not so much in Star Wars. I know on IG, we look like a fucking feature account. It is what it is. We sold our soul to get a following somewhere. You know, we tricked you assholes here in the live stream at least. But when it comes down to it, I am a Star Wars fan, a fan speculator. That's what I like to do. I like to talk about Star Wars. The toy photography shit, that came way later in my Star Wars life. So while yes, I would like to bring more photographers on, we've sucked at interviews this year. I mean, with everything that happened, you know, everything Kylo was supposed to do one, and then COVID, this, that, and the other thing. We started doing live streams, just got out of that fucking cadence. I'll get back to it, but the point being, typically a photographer isn't going to bring a lot of long-term fans to the Star Wars Time show. Yeah. And like, you know, it's always nice for us to be able to do it though. Like Matt talking to Jason was a great podcast, Work More or Less. The ones where Sir Dork was on here and guested, or his interview was really great as well. And we definitely want to continue doing it, but it's just it's a different type of audience that's focused on a different type of thing. Right. I mean, we love them. I'm one of them. I mean, most of our super fans are toy photographers, so I get that call, but I want Star Wars cred. Yeah. Star Wars fan shithead cred. All right. That's all I'm looking for in life. I don't have much left. I turned 40. I might have another 40, maybe not. Joe says in the live stream here, all it takes is for people to listen once and they will continue to listen. Well, tell that to the 2,000 people that have dropped off since March until now, because apparently we found the wrong people to listen to us. But it's all good. Numbers have recovered a bit here in October. I still think it's going to be a down month, but it is what it is. I guess we just have to get good, as they like to say to people that bitch and moan all the time, like myself. Okay, so I think that's enough of shitting on KRT's nonsense. Not like anyone's ever going to hear it or let them know that we don't like them. It's not even like
if you do, you get blocked anyway.
Yeah. They'll just fucking block you. And honestly, it's human wise. I don't even know if I dislike them as humans. I just am a jealous shithead who's green with envy, and it drives me nuts that they have a following when I know. I'm not fucking kidding around. I know we produce a better show. We don't sit there and drone on. We don't sound like like a typical Star Wars nerd. So that's my take. All right, buddy. Back to real life stuff, and it's some real life Mandalorian. Yay!
Actual people from the Mandalorian talking,
not just shitheads. But I am going to tie this back to the shitheads real quick. So
I will say that Grace Randolph was interviewed for this article that we're going to talk about, but they chose to just throw it in the garbage can.
Yeah, that's the idiot. She's another one of the Star Wars troll makers out there. I mean, she's like Mike Zero type of quality. But anyway, she's the one that started all that. Pedro fucking hates his life. He's quitting. He hates Star Wars. He hates Disney. He hates this person, that person, this person. So Variety ran an article interviewing none other than Pedro Pascal. It was predominantly to talk about his role in Wonder Woman 84, which is coming up, or maybe not coming up. But of course, anytime a Star Wars actor is promoting another property, they always have to talk about Star Wars. So they did ask him about Mandalorian. And they kind of got in the second season talk and how Pedro definitely was in the armor more than he was in season 1. Yep. Those of you, if you're not in the know, during season 1, I believe he still had commitments for a play he was in.
He was in King Lear on Broadway.
So there were many episodes where he literally wasn't in it. He
just did ADR. Like he went into a voiceover booth and just read the lines and based his voice acting off of the performance of the body actor, the body double that was in the suit. So.
Right. So, I think there might have been some rumors that started off of that because, you got to figure an actor wants their appearance to be known. That is one of their tools. They obviously act with the way they speak, but also with their face movements, expressions, this, that, and the other thing. So this Grace person was putting it out there that like he was over it. His ego was too big. He fucking hates everybody. I think they were even throwing in some like pronoun nonsense. It was just a bunch of bullshit. So anyways, Variety's talking to Pedro, and they kind of got into how he has to play the Mandalorian, how he isn't always the one bringing the character to life. Yeah. And he pretty much said, he's like, listen, and I'll give you some context to this quote I'm about to read, because you may hear the quote and be like, yeah, he does sound like he doesn't like it when other people are behind the mask. But he's talking about, essentially, if he had to watch the stunt guys do one-on-one stuff, like a one-on-one scene that went a little bit longer than just like an action bit, this, that, and the other thing, he would start to get a little itchy, like, man, I would like to be kind of emoting this scene.
Yeah, he wants to be in the suit, not the opposite of he did not want to be
exactly.
in the suit.
So here's what he says. He's like, if there were more than just a couple of pages of a one-on-one scene, I did feel easy about not, in some instances, being able to totally author that. So he's saying, as an actor, if I saw 4 or 5 page flips in the script where I knew the stunt guy was going to be in there, I was starting to get a little jealous. Like, I want to put my stamp on this scene. I want to showcase what I think Mando would do in this scene. Not, fuck those guys, fuck John, I'm out. He goes on to say, but it was so easy in such a sort of practical and unexciting way for it to be up to them. When you're dealing with a franchise as large as this, you are such a passenger to however they're going to carve it out. It's just so specific. It's Star Wars. Now, I'll parse out how I think he felt saying that. As an actor, as a lead man, as the titular character, as he says, the titular silhouette for the Mandalorian. And he's human. I mean, listen to how butthurt I get over 2 schmoes to get 1,000 more views on their dumbass Star Wars show than I do. Okay.
Yeah.
Pedro probably is like, oh man, I wish I could be doing that. I probably could do it this way or that way or this way. I do not get a feel that he's so upset about being in a helmet or having stunt guys act out some of the scenes that he has quit the show and will not be back for season 3, which is what all the fuck faces were saying.
Yeah. I really feel like, based off of what he said, he actually wishes that he could be in the suit more.
Exactly.
Like that's his problem, is that like there are these scenes, especially in season 1, where he was not even on set. Like he was in a completely different part of the country, where like he's just watching and he's like, man, I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have been in this scene more, so I could, like you say, put his particular stamp on the character instead of just lending the voice to it in that instance. But yeah, like it's like what he said is almost the exact opposite of what people were saying. Like people were saying he wants to get out of the suit. He hates it. He didn't want to be involved anymore. In this quote, he's saying that I wish that I could have been in the suit more.
You're exactly
I wish
right.
that I could have been here more. And
I mean, he follows up when they kind of ask him. They're like, "Hey, man, how's it feel to be the face of this franchise?" And he goes, "I mean, come on, there isn't a face. If you want to say you're the silhouette, which is also a team effort, then yeah." Can we just cut the shit and talk about the child? So
yeah,
he knows his place. He does. I mean, I don't think Pedro is a type of human that would be so petty to be like, you know what? It's called The Mandalorian. I should have my face on the fucking poster, no helmet, and fuck this little green thing. He knows it is what it is. He knows he's got a great fucking thing. He knows probably for the next 10 years, he can collect a paycheck for doing some dialogue and looking like a badass.
Yeah. And who knows? I mean, we don't know where this show is progressing and how his character arc is going to move forward either. But at some point, it may become okay that he has his helmet off more than he doesn't. I mean, we know that the Creed only allows him to remove his helmet around other Mandalorians. So technically, within the Enclave in season 1, he could have removed his helmet, but they didn't. So maybe it just depends on how the arc of the story goes to how his ability to be seen, quote unquote, is going to change. But yeah, I feel like he knows this is like tongue in cheek. Like, yes, I know that I don't have a face, but the show. I
do think I was just kind of being an asshole when I wrote the post, but I think it's more of like, hey guys, I get it. The child is what really kind of springboarded this motherfucking series. It's fine. We don't need to talk about me just because it says The Mandalorian.
But dude, here's the thing though. Like, you have to realize the power of this show without the child, just purely based off of the interest and the amount of people that watched it before they even knew Baby Yoda was in it.
Right.
Like, The Mandalorian leading up to the release of season 1 was one of the most talked about Star Wars properties, period. Like, there were a lot of people who were more excited for The Mandalorian than they were for TROS, because they were announced at about Celebration 2019 was basically like, here's your dual reveal. Like, you get TROS, you get more Mandalorian footage. And people were like super hyped about Mando. And Disney Plus launched to the highest number of subscribers, or a higher number of subscribers than they ever imagined because of that show. And that was purely based off of Pedro Pascal as the Mandalorian.
Well, maybe not him as the actor, but the look of the character.
The show itself. And they knew that, at that point, you knew Carl was going to be playing Grief. You knew that
What's
Carol
his name?
was going to be being played Grief Cardboard.
Thank you. We did get a Grief Cardboard mentioned in the stream. I just didn't have an opportunity to bring it up there. Klondike has been on point today with Stern Show mentions and Star Wars Time Show mentions. So
there we go.
Kudos.
So I mean, I really do think that, yes, while Baby Yoda became the global sensation of the show, the show itself was driven based off of the character of the Mandalorian.
I'll give you that. But I think going into season 2, what are you more concerned about? Seeing the fate of the Mandalorian or the fate of the child?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely the child, 100%. Like I said, I would be okay if Mando kind of went off and did his own thing.
Yeah, you were the one saying you'd be fine with a rotating Mandalorian
Yes,
right?
yes, I would definitely be fine with that. But I also don't think that you can downplay the importance of the character that Pedro Pascal plays in the show. Like he is like, especially in season 1 and season 2, as we can see in the trailers so far, he is a character of great import to this series.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was Pedro, I'd be like, you know what, Lateef, you keep doing the action because you make me look like a fucking badass. So
yeah, I know, right? Nobody knows who Lateef Crowder is.
Right. I really doubt. I mean, I'm not saying Pedro's a schlub. I think he probably could do some of his stunt work, but he's not doing that prison hallway scene maneuver from, was that episode 6, I believe, in season 1.
Yeah,
where he's like slide tackling those droid bots, and that's some slick looking shit there.
I hope that they eventually he does take on some of the stunts, because I believe he did some of his own stunts in Game of Thrones. But like Game of Thrones fighting was so easy because it wasn't heavily like movement or action.
Well, yeah, it's more
like
traditional sword duel,
swinging a sword at each other.
Yeah,
so
it's like
where if they ever get down into like an old school Western showdown, I hope that Pedro gets to do it.
Well, we know he can swing a lasso from what was that, the Kingsman?
Kingsman 2. Yeah, Kingsman 2. So
he can cowboy it up. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I love the guy. I think Pedro's fucking fantastic, and just that bullshit troll article. It's like, what is it with people? I mean, I bitch all the time how we don't have a following, or at least one that doesn't make me happy. But I would never stoop to that type of bullshit like a Mike Zero or this Grace character or Doomcock. Like, these people just throw up fucking misinformation because they know that's all humans want now. They want bullshit, to click on bullshit. Oh, it's bullshit. Click, click, click. I click on it. I'm not saying I'm any better. Hell, I click on it and then I vomit it up to you assholes. So I'm no better than anyone else, but at least I won't do this myself. I can't do it. Like, I can't just fucking... I could get creative enough with Star Wars to make up some crazy shit that people would click on. It's ethically wrong. Yeah.
I mean, it shits on the stories and the shows that are actually being built when you throw out nonsense that has no bearance behind it or no hard, fast facts behind it.
It perpetuates the toxic nature of some of the dildos that like this fake fucking science fiction shit. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right. I mean, even beyond Pedro here, this article went into a little bit about Jon Favreau and his thoughts on the potential.
Oh, this was Nick. This was your 2 article in 1 special from yours truly here. They're actually 2 different interviews. I'm like, fuck it, they're just lumping them together. So Favreau talked to him, Pedro talked to him, and then the one we're gonna go over now, it had quotes from John and Pedro in it here. But the big thing here, Nick, that I got from the interview with John was, like, you can tell he realizes what he has on his hands now. You can tell he has plans for the series, at least through season 3. I mean, one nugget we got that season 3 he sees not being delayed in the slightest. It sounds like thanks to the way they shoot, as well as some of the processes that they've already been using working in a remote location. He even said, I mean, think about it, a lot of the cast is in a mask anyways. Yeah. He's thinking unless something fucking drastic changes that season 3 is on track. So that's good. But he's also talking like he gets it. This thing is a juggernaut now. It can go here, it can go there. You can fold this one in, that one in. And he understands that. So, they're kind of asking him about, well, movies, John, movies. Do you see The Mandalorian, or maybe some of the stories you're going to generate in the Mandalorian world? Will they spawn out into films? Because we got to remember, John essentially has done what he did for the MCU for this new Star Wars TV universe.
Yeah,
he went first. He created something that a bunch of people got behind and thought was awesome. And now he has the opportunity to start bringing in other heroes, other villains, and potentially spinning them off into their own shit, either TV series, movies, comics, books. So it kind of naturally came down to that. They're like, hey, John. And John the whole time's like, streaming. You can tell he's still focused on streaming because if it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it, essentially. Yeah. But he's like, hey, but we're definitely open to it being the idea of a movie version of the Mandalorian universe. and excited to see where the story leads us and have that flexibility because there's no rule book now.
See, what I would like to see is if it does, like if there is an eventual Mandalorian movie, is it a feature film? Is it a silver screen movie, or is it a Disney Plus original movie?
That's a good point too.
Because in my opinion now, Disney has proven that it is almost more fiscally responsible and lucrative to just do stuff Disney Plus. Like, yeah, of course you still want to have your blockbusters, your big screen films that come out, make a splash and make you $1 billion. But also, if you can rope in, 30 million new subs because you're dropping the first ever live action Mandalorian movie on Disney Plus instead of going to the theaters, what is more valuable to you?
Exactly.
Would you rather have 30 million people who sub for 1 month at $7 that makes you whatever, $120 million immediately, and then you keep 10 million of those people on for another 10 months,
and then you get that compounding payments that will far outvalue a single ticket. So
yeah,
no, I'm with you. I mean, obviously, who the fuck knows what's going to happen to the movie industry when all this is said and done?
Yeah,
here in America, I don't see how it can exist. We're still not at a point where you can even pretend to live a normal life. If you are, you're fucking playing with fire. I'm not going to lecture you anymore on this shit. I mean, you should be fucking intelligent enough to realize we're fucked until something happens at a national level, like a good message is put out. But okay. I love movies, and I still can't, in my head, justify going to my theater, even though it's an AMC. I haven't seen any reports of them getting popped. They're doing all the right things that you can do.
I think that all theaters are shut down now.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, AMC and Regal are both completely closed.
Oh, well, there you go. So, I mean, we may not have movie theaters, and that fucking blows. That blows, but we may, when this is all said and done, have been conditioned to the point where it's somewhat acceptable to get theater releases piped right to your house.
Yeah.
If that's going to become the new world, I'm not kidding. I'm fucking throwing an addition on my house and building a theater.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you
like
can't
I have that money. I mean, I talk a big game, but
I mean, you already have 100-inch like projection screen. If you just built some sort of like closed-in screen patio where you could just use the back.
I mean,
wall
dude, in my basement, I have theater curtains around the TV. Like the guy I bought it from had a theater down here. And the wall is set up in a way I could get a really nice 4K projector and get some shit going. I've got the Dolby Atmos. It's still not going to a movie theater. It's not.
And it's never, nothing's ever going to be able to replace
unless you're
that.
one of these rich motherfuckers like a Snyder or, the uber rich. I'm sure The Rock has one where they literally build a miniature theater for themselves where it's a legit theater. It might not just be as wide to fit a bunch of seats in, but it's a fucking theater with rows of seats, a projector, this, that, and the other thing. I don't know. It does bum me out, but I'd be fine taking a Mando movie at home any day.
Yeah.
Pedro weighed in on it as well. He's like, hey, I think the work is so beautiful, and I'd love for that to be held by a big screen experience. But it seems to work so well that I'm not sure it's something that I would want corrupted by any kind of change, I mean, I certainly know that the challenge can be met. It's not like these people don't have the experience. If anybody can do it, they can. Clearly talking about the cast and crew, so.
Yeah, I mean, also he brings up an interesting thing here. It says, it's not something
Hey, run with that, man. I'm going to piss my pants, like legit, so run with that for a bit.
So I'll run with this. So he doesn't want it to be corrupted by any kind of change. And naturally what happens when you have something moving from TV to movie is that you have completely different executives getting involved. You have completely different people within your organization getting involved in it, because now you're moving from a small, like what used to be seen as small scale to now the big leagues. This is where all of the huge shit goes. So even though The Mandalorian is a flagship property now for Star Wars and for Disney, you're going to have a different level of involvement from the top brass if it does become a silver screen type of film. You're not going to just have, Dave and John being able to, sit in their playroom and do whatever they want. You're going to have more input from, I don't know if the story group would even get involved, but you're going to have more input from the higher level brass, which seem to have caused problems with the final Skywalker trilogy. So I think that's kind of what he's talking about there, is that he doesn't want the flow of the story to be messed up.
You know what would happen if
outsiders.
they do this? Fucking Bob Iger would probably start sending them notes out of retirement.
He would immediately say, like, I'm CEO again. I want to have an input in this. And then, okay, the movie's out. I'm done being CEO again. Bob Chapek, you can have it back.
Fucking Iger.
But I think that's kind of what he was hinting at, is like when you go to a big screen, things just naturally have a different level of scrutiny put on it. So, I mean, I would love to see it. I would love to see a Mando movie. I hope they do something like a lot of other series have done, where like, okay, we have reached the end of our TV series lifespan, but we're going to close things out.
Right. You get like a final push out. I mean, it's not quite the same, but Star Trek: The Next Generation, I mean, obviously started on TV and then had a theatrical run. I think they did like 4 or 5 movies to continue their tale, but the TNG's crew, like their story truly ends in the films versus how the TV series ended. So I think that's what Nick was talking about. I mean, it could also be used for, we've talked about Ezra and Thrawn and some of these other people that could be folded into the Mandalorian. Like maybe they're briefly teased in Mando, either in conversation, a holo recording, and then bam, you get the fucking movie to explain where Ezra's been, where Thrawn's been, how they're doing, why they're looping back into the known region. Stuff like that. So,
I mean, it is rare to see that too, but I think this property can do it. Like usually it's the other way around, where a TV series will spin off of a movie. But in this particular series, I think that it is possible for movies to spin off of this series.
Yeah. So it's all good. I mean, let's face it. The Mandalorian is Star Wars gold at this point. I was talking to Nick offline. We completed our Haywood family run through of the first season of Mandalorian last Friday. We finished episode 8. And I was telling Nick, I was like, it's now gotten to the point where when I hear Mandalorian music, it resonates with me emotionally, which is something that rarely happens with these sci-fi things I get into. I mean, obviously, the original trilogy music, that's why I still cry at night when I hear certain themes from Mr. Williams. But Ludwig has now, and just through the good storytelling from John, Dave, and the crew, has beaten into my soul that when I hear that, do, some good shit's going to happen. Oh, yeah. I'm going to see something good. I'm going to be entertained. I'm going to be emotionally moved when I come out of this project. And it's really even getting to the point, like where it crescendos at the end, where it's like, I mean, I'm sitting there almost getting teared up, ready to run through a wall. I feel so fucking good. I'm like, yeah, Mando, the child, let's do it. So, I mean, this show's gold. They Disney finally hit on something that is akin to the magic that was created way back when from Georgie Boy. So, don't fuck this one up, my friends. I think they'll be fine. As long as John and Dave are in control, we are good to go. Yep.
And speaking of our classic transition, speaking of Mandalorian and new footage and everything like that, we did get some new footage on Monday Night Football.
We're gonna try something new here. Yeah. All right, this could be playing with fire, but I am someone that likes to touch a hot stove after learning that you should not touch one. We're going to go ahead and watch the trailer as a group on the live stream. I have it loaded into OBS to where everyone watching on the stream should be able to hear it. Nick and I will not, so we'll just have to make noises in our heads. But we're just going to watch it. I'll try to be quiet when we're watching it. When it's done watching, then Nick and I will go into our usual Star Wars time show breakdown of a Star Wars trailer. Let's be real. They called this a special look. Special is a little strong for what we got. I mean, this was more of a trick to get people to watch a crappy Monday Night Football game than anything else. because it was a minute long and most of it was stuff we've already seen, but we did get some key new moments, some characters that I don't think any of us thought would return or back. So that begs the question why. So that's the type of stuff we'll get in. But like I said, we'll go ahead and watch the trailer right now as a fun little group of Star Wars time show assholes. And then when it's over, like I said, we'll get into our breakdowns. Let's try this out. I'm not promising anything. I could very well blow up my system.
Just nuke it. It's gonna explode.
I mean, if the stream just ends, you know why. Let's put it that way. All right, here we go, Nick. I'll tell you when the clip's up. I'm not gonna mute us, but go. Lucasfilm is on the screen. Yeah, this is gonna be hard for me to be quiet.
Yeah, just gotta sit here and be silent. It's okay, everybody. It's like the trailers had a movie.
Business. I need your help. I've been quested to bring this.
Oh, I wonder if he's talking to them. When they do that handshake that it reminds you of Dylan, you son of a bitch.
This is no place for a child.
It's like, okay, I'm gonna hold most of my comments because I'm like watching it on the live stream, and we are a little bit ahead of you guys because of the delay, but holding comments. And it hasn't crashed. Live stream is still going.
I'm gonna say something.
Here we go.
Whee! Okay.
New season streaming October 30th, only on Disney Plus.
All right, I think we made it through. Nothing caught on fire. My ears aren't smoking. My desktop isn't trying to run away. Can anyone still hear us?
I think we're still here. I think we're still here. So
okay. So there was trailer time with Matt and Nick. Hopefully that added so much more to this shitty show. You never know. I have a lot of stupid ideas.
Usually for those of you who have been with us through a trailer breakdown or anything like that, we'll like click on some of the screenshots and we'll walk through. So instead of doing like individual screens, now that we've all watched the trailer as a collective, we can just kind of organically talk about some of the moments. Like you said, Matt, most of this stuff is footage that we've already seen, just used in different ways. And to me, the really big thing was that line that he said, like that line that he said, I'm charged with bringing this.
I've been quested. I love that. He's like,
yes.
I've been quested to return this thing to its people or whatever.
To its people. And I'm seeking, what was really interesting to me is that he said that he was seeking out other Mandalorians.
Right, okay, so yeah, let's, for some reason the stills aren't loading there we go. All right, so this is how we usually break it down. I got the stills up now. We're just going to focus on the new scenes. But yeah, we're going to get right back to what Nick was talking about because that is a key line that will give us some stuff to think about. So obviously, as we saw, the trailer opens. The New Republic, for some reason, is trying to take out the Razor Crest. They're pleading with him to stand down. Still not quite sure what he could have done to piss them off, but knowing...
You know what I will postulate here already, throwing out some speculation. If I was the New Republic, Ilum would be off limits to anybody.
Okay.
Because they know the power of kyber crystals now. The kyber crystals were literally farmed and used to build the Death Star. They know that Ilum is one of the major sources of kyber crystals in the universe or the galaxy. To me, you're flying over that, like New Republic squads are over that constantly.
Okay, so you do think the dog, or at least the chase with the X-Wings, it looks like it starts in space, gets into the atmosphere. So that sunny atmosphere, you think that's still Ilum, and him flying through this cavern, which is a new shot we get to see, and then eventually crashing. That's all a continuation, or are we getting some trailer editing fuckery going on?
Like I'm kind of caught between, but
because I just think one more thing before, and I like your idea, but one more thing. Remember in the first trailer, the opening scene, we see the Razor Crest basically sputtering through space. The doors open. It's almost like they ejected out.
Yeah.
But do you think there's going to be two instances where the Razor Crest is in trouble? Basically, is what I'm getting at. I feel
like in the first trailer, when they were putting along, it didn't seem like they were going towards Ilum. Like that planet was a little bit more lush.
Right.
It was more of like an Earth-like
Could
planet.
that be them leaving Ilum in the busted-ass Razor Crest and limping to another planet then?
It could very possibly be
because
that
I
them
do.
leaving.
We're not there yet, but I always like to toot my own horn, especially when people try to call me and say I'm wrong. But if you're in the chat, we at least now say I was right that was the fucking Razor Crest crashed behind the Mando and the child in the first trailer when you were trying to say it wasn't.
I believe that is as hard confirmed as it can get.
Right. So he's crashing through this ice canyon. So yes, the Razor Crest crashes, skids across the ice, and looks like it probably falls down into some sort of cavern, right?
Yeah.
But before that, we have what Nick was talking about. So we do get it. We do get some new dialogue in this spot. And as Nick said in the write-up of the trailer, and as I kind of speculated in my breakdown, the dialogue that with Mando saying, hey, I've been quested with this little fucker. I need to go find some motherfuckers, and I think Mandalorians could help me. Why would he have to re-explain to Grief Cardboard and Kara that he has been charged with finding other Force users for the kid? They were there. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
So, Nick, that's where the fun begins, though. Is he talking to someone we've already met, or someone we know but haven't met on the show yet, or just someone random and we're making a mountain out of a molehill?
I feel like he may be talking to somebody that we know, but that we don't have any sort of clue as to whether they're in the show yet. Okay. I mean, like clue, yeah.
My
don't
one
know
guess
is in the show yet.
I threw at the armorer, but again, that would be stupid because she's the one that gave him the quest.
Yeah.
I did also mention Heavy Paz.
Yes.
Heavy Paz. He could be someone that, Mando has sought out to let him know, like, hey, I'm doing this. Where'd the rest of the covert go? Do you know of any other coverts? Because clearly, based on this spot now, he's not instantly going to look for or research or hunt down sighting stories of Force users. He is going right to what he knows best, and that is Mandalorians. Because he assumes someone somewhere in one of the coverts has interacted with these sorcerers, knows about them, knows about current whereabouts, or has interacted with them in the past. And really, Nick, it's almost playing into what we were speculating with the potential of Boba Fett showing up. I believe I was the one that said, if you're bringing Boba, maybe he goes to Boba because he thinks Boba could have relevant information based on Boba's interactions with the Jedi during the prequel in the OT.
Exactly.
So it is. I did find that interesting that he's relying on his people, the Creed, at first to kind of get a lead to really find who he needs to find for the child.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think it makes the most sense. Like, I don't think he would be saying this to Boba Fett. I think that you're probably onto something where he's looking, he's either in another covert or he's talking to another Mandalorian to say, like, hey, I need some sort of direction. Like, who's a Mando that would know Jedi?
Right, and that could be Boba Fett.
Yeah,
go look for him.
Also be Bo-Katan.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
So
Sabine
you
Wren.
have different options here.
Well, that's what I mean by him saying that, Nick. It now adds even more fuel to all these rumors.
Yeah.
Yes, it would make sense if a Sabine was in the show, if a Bo was in the show, if Sabine's mom, fuck any Mandalorian at this point, would make sense. He is looking for them for their knowledge about these sorcerers.
Yes.
So that was probably that was the special aspect of this special look. Getting another comment on the snow planet asking why we don't think it's Hoth. Hoth makes no sense to me in terms of trying to find Force users where Ilum would have some sort of Force emanating from it in my mind. So that's why I'm going with that.
Yeah, and based off of what we saw kind of in the caves in the first trailer where it seemed like the baby was leading the way in some sort of fashion, like he was drawn to something in the caves, that would make more sense for the baby being drawn to the Force emanation from kyber crystals than like him randomly walking through a cave in Hoth. The only thing, and when we originally saw the first trailer, I threw out Hoth as like a 0.5% possibility, because if Mando's following the footsteps of Luke Skywalker, he's heard about this Jedi.
Yeah, I mean, it has potential. I'm not saying Hoth is the dumbest fucking idea ever. It has potential, but in terms of the limited information Mando is given about the child species, sorcerers, I would assume they would focus on planets that could have a strong force connection.
Yeah. And I also, if it is, if the dogfight that we see between the New Republic X-Wings and Mando is happening above this ice planet, whether it be Ilum or Hoth or whatever it is.
Hoth has gone through some serious climate change in about 7 years because its atmosphere was basically a cotton ball.
Yeah. So, it would be, and it also just wouldn't make sense to me that the New Republic would be guarding Hoth so vigilantly.
Yeah, I think your idea of them guarding Ilum, and that's why they kind of get into a dogfight, that has potential. It has potential. I mean, they could also be coming after him for his stunt on the prison ship, just kind of, Mando, he doesn't really go looking for trouble. It always finds him.
Just kind of, like his past always pops up to remind him that he's not necessarily a loved person in this.
Yeah, you got to remember,
universe.
I believe in every episode of The Mandalorian, Din either gets shot or beat up. So, he's kind of a tragic hero. But yeah, I don't know. Hoth just on paper doesn't make sense, but it would be a treasure trove of fucking eggs and callbacks if they did go back there to Echo Base. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would not be unhappy if it was Hoth. I'm leaning towards the Space Wizards, sorcery, force user. We need to find him. What planet has that? Ilum. So,
yeah.
Okay, moving on. There's the shot right there. I had to put that Dylan, you son of a bitch. The only thing they missed, they did not do the kind of the arm wrestling finish there.
Yeah.
But anytime Grief Cardboard is in a scene shaking hands, you gotta do the son of a bitch. We got a wider landscape shot of. This has to be Tatooine at this point. You got a nice dead bantha carcass there, and we can see Mando rolling through,
zipping along.
And then we get just more shots of what I'm assuming is this ice cave he crashes on Ilum, if we're working on Ilum. He's looking up at something. That's why I feel like they are going to sink down underneath the surface we saw them skidding across.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's fucking Crash. Look, it's Crash right there, people. I was right. Everyone tell me I was right. Come on, tell me.
Yeah, literally. I don't know if the person who said that's definitely not the Razor Crest is in here now. Probably not, but it's definitely the Razor Crest at this point. So yeah.
Yeah. Mando's going to be in there fixing it. So I don't know, Nick. I think you are again onto something. You get 2 stars today on your star chart for good Star Wars speculation topics. But we know Mando isn't a master mechanic. Without Kuil, he never would have left that planet.
Yeah.
But it looks like he is going to be the only one to repair the Razor Crest at this point. So maybe that's why it looks like a jalopy floating through space.
Yeah, he can barely get it limping.
Yeah,
that's basically.
He gets like an engine going. He doesn't even get enough hydraulics working to shut the fucking back plank. So
yeah, no, he doesn't. He's got no hyperspace. He's literally got sublight engines, and that's about it. And it's going to take him as far as he can go, and that's probably why he gets right above Ilum. He sees some sort of planet that looks like it's inhabited. Comes back down.
Yeah, it's fucking backfiring left and right. The kids like jerking back and forth. So yeah, they're crashed there on this ice planet underneath the ground that looks like in some sort of cavern, which we've seen them go through. All right, so here we get some more kind of visual feedback or insights given to us, and I'm going with this is Navarro. I know some people are saying it's Sullust. I still think this is Navarro, and here's going to be my speculation here. So we get this action sequence in this trailer,
Yep.
Where, you see this Imperial troop transport just jumping off this platform. So at this point, I think it's safe to say on Navarro, there is a remnant installation / prison / platform, whatever you want to call it. So we see this transport jetting out of here. Then it's getting chased. Okay, well, why are they chasing their own transport? Well, it comes to be revealed that in the troop transport is none other than Grief Cardboard, Cara Dune, and Mythrol from S1E1, Din's first bounty that we get to witness. Okay?
Yes.
I don't know if that's his name. That is what he is listed on as IMDb. Horatio Sands played the character. I thought they were the Mythrol species, but they're calling him Mythrol. So here's what I'm saying, Nick. Mm-hmm. For some reason, and this is a thing I can't fucking figure out. For some reason, Mando and the child have to go back to Navarro to either break this guy out in particular, other prisoners out of this remnant installation. That's why he goes to Grief and Cara to use them. Because if we go down a few more slides, it looks like at one time all three of them are in this remnant
Imperial installation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, you can see just from the architecture that this is definitely an Imperial style of base.
Yeah. So why are they saving this guy? Is it just a gag and they threw it in the trailer just because, or does he have information the Mando realizes he needs now? But I'm thinking all this is taking place on Navarro because I don't think Grief and Cara left at the end of the first season. And
I can see why people think it's Sullust because the landscape between Navarro and Sullust is very similar. They're both like volcanically active planets, so there's lava running across them. But I don't know why you would abandon Navarro to use Sullust when it's essentially the same style.
Yeah,
of planet.
They established Navarro as a key planet in the first season. It was the Bounty Hunter Guild, but it also came to be, we found out that a lot of the remnant was there and they were building up.
Around.
Yeah, like they were. And now it seems they have a fucking base there because this next slide, like I said, I'd still believe this is the same Imperial installation. They're going here to get something, break someone out. Like I said, is the mission to break out Mythrol, or is he just kind of a bystander, kind of like a gag, like a callback? Like, hey, Mando, you locked me up and now I'm with these assholes. You're breaking someone else out or you're trying to steal information. Can you just get me? Maybe they need him, maybe they don't. I'm thinking it might be a gag, but it was kind of neat to see him show up again. But I do think Mando goes back to Navarro to get his friends to go take on this base for a reason. Yeah, I think the reason's more than just Mythrol, but who knows? Yeah, we get a cute shot of the child. I was watching Star Wars Theory. He was trying to say that the light glint in the child's eyes is a reflection of the Darksaber.
I can see that, but it's really hard to be able to tell. And
I would also think
it does kind of look like a white line,
right? I'm not saying he's crazy. I mean, the guy has a huge following and puts out good content, but I would think based on the reaction the child gave us, if it was the Darksaber being lit up, he would be a little more like versus kind of like an inquisitive look. I think the child would react more like, oh shit, this doesn't look good versus, oh, what's this? That's my take. I just had to throw him in because he's the child. Another scene of them, as I said, infiltrating this remnant base. Here's a follow-up to the chase sequence. You got Grief in here doing his best Han Solo and Luke Skywalker shooting in the Millennium Falcon impression, right? And now, like I said, I think a lot of the end of this trailer was a continuation of an action moment that is going to take place on Navarro that is all centered around this heist, break-in, whatever. So we saw that only Grief and Cara were in the transport. So you're going, well, where the hell's Mando? Well, he's probably going to be dealing with these TIE fighters that look to be going in pursuit of the transport as he takes off with his jetpack. We can see some lava rivers again. Like I said, still Navarro-esque to me. Yep. And that's that. So not a lot. All we got from this trailer we know that his main charge or his main idea to complete his quest is to track down more Mandalorians versus just seeking out space wizards themselves.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest thing.
It's big, and
it
it makes a lot of the rumored characters make sense. Like, yes,
yeah,
okay.
make even more sense. So, good 1 minute little spot there. And it kind of brings some more possibility to the rumors out there.
Yeah, and then there's going to be some big shit going down on Navarro with one of Din's former bounties and his two buddies.
Yeah.
Why? Who knows? It's obviously going to be related to his quest. I mean, maybe the breakout is to go save the child from Moff Gideon.
It could be, yeah.
I mean, with he's come out and said that
you don't really see in this shot here, the one right before the baby shot, you see Mando in the hallway, and again he's standing kind of sideways, so you can't see his whole body. But you also, it doesn't seem like the satchel's on him. He doesn't have the egg with him, so the baby might not be with him.
And we get the quote in every Mandalorian season 2 trailer. He doesn't go anywhere without the child now.
Yeah.
So if the child is not with him, this is more than likely the rescue mission we're looking at.
Yeah, like on the ice planet, whether it be Hoth or Ilum, the baby's there. When he's in that fighting club on whatever planet that may be, he's there. This is the only shot that we see Mando, the only confirmed location that we know Mando is going to be at, where we don't clearly see the baby with him in at least a couple of shots. So, we'll see. I think it was a good little teaser.
We're getting spammed by Donald Trump and Putin bots. That means we must have said something to upset the gods of tyranny.
There we go. Yeah, I mean, this is the most.
Oh, look at this! So we are getting attacked right now.
I don't know how to. Can I like? Oh yeah, I can. I can.
This is
block
hilarious.
This person.
Yes,
Golden Freddy.
Block him. Pepper.
Vladimir Putin.
Oh boy.
Donald, block this person. There we go.
Oh, they're just coming now. We're full on getting bot attacked on the live stream right now. This is hilarious.
I'm selling condoms.
This is great.
I was gonna say this is the most live viewers we've ever had at one time, and before we were even getting spammed, it was happening. So
holy
this
shit!
Is so
this is out of control.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna watch this crazy. Go on. There's my buddy Brian Harvey. He's in here. Yeah, it's just spamming shit over and over. All right. Well, I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Hopefully they don't.
Okay. Well, I've blocked out. I may have to make somebody an admin in here. If you guys, if one of you, I don't know how. I don't even know how I can do that because I'm not really familiar with it. But it seems like we're okay now.
This is great. It's spamming everybody's like Harvey. I'm blaming it on Brian Harvey because his are spamming too, and it started once he started commenting here. What is SPG 64? Whatever it is, SPG 64 is live and has your address. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure SPG has whatever they want to have. So there we go. This is the first time.
Hey Harvey,
that we've ever had
quit fucking with the live stream, you jerk off.
Yeah. First time that we've had enough viewers to actually have somebody come in and spam
awesome.
us.
I love it.
This is hilarious.
Go.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to make somebody an admin and chat.
Whoever's cold front, they're saying they'll take out the spammers, but they're probably just someone that wants control to fuck more shit up. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not going to worry about it. Fuck them. Have at it, people. Spam that chat.
Yeah. So very interesting here. But yeah, so that's the end of the Mando breakdown. If you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure to go check it out.
Here we go, spamming the Star Wars Time show. Oh, text it. Come on, man. Don't spam us, dude. Oh my God, we're probably just gonna have to turn off the fucking comments here.
Yeah, this is really annoying. And if I knew, like, I would make Greg an admin or Sean or somebody who I knew, but I don't know how to do that. Oh wait, actually, let me see if I log in under. This is usually, guys, live troubleshooting doesn't really need to happen in terms of.
Here we go. SPG 64 is a streamer on YouTube.
Okay, so
Oh, he's gonna send my address to Hitmen. Damn.
Okay, yeah. Just remove. Actually, okay. So now that I'm in here as
it's a trap.
as SWT, I'm gonna make Tones you're a moderator of the channel, so you can deal with this if you would like. I'm gonna go up and find Greggy Bird. I'll make you a moderator.
Oh,
I'll
that's
make Devin
dangerous.
a moderator.
Don't make Greg a moderator.
Devin, you're a moderator, so if you guys can see if you can get these people removed, that would be very appreciated. It looks like one of your, I think your sister's in here, Matt.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, my two nephews, she lets them watch it, so they'll probably.
Oh wow.
they'll end up talking like drunken sailors here in about another month or so.
I don't know if that's a good idea. Thank you, Tones, and I don't know who else I can give. If Greg types something, I can give him a moderator as well. But right now it's Devin and Tones in here.
Look at unlimited power.
Yeah. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Devin's just sticking around because he knows he's in the top 5.
This is hilarious. So. I love this.
This is
this is fun. Who cares about talking about Star Wars? Let's just watch the channel get hacked here.
Yeah, I know, right? This is the first time that's happened. So, okay. Thank you, guys.
I'll tell you what. I mean, if we got to the point where they want to start hacking us and spamming us, I guess we pissed enough people off.
I guess so, right? That's what I was looking at the live stream numbers. I was like, man, we got, concurrent viewers up to.
They said that Skeppy is saying that he's a streamer here. And I'm on his channel. It looks like he is streaming. He's trying to speed run Super Mario Galaxy right now.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I don't know.
It's probably not even Skeppy. It's probably just some jerk off.
Yeah. Who knows? Oh well. So
I'm flattered, honestly. Oh yeah, it's my nephew that's watching. Hey there, Lando. Yeah. I don't see anything. Well, good. Maybe it's and I feel bad. The people are gonna spend the rest of the show just blocking motherfuckers. But
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. But and Big Amish, you probably don't see it because our boys Tones and Devin are really knocking them out pretty quickly.
It's not gonna. They could sit here and block all day. We're gonna have to figure something out. They're just. This is bot. This isn't a human doing this right now.
Yeah, I know. So, all right. Well, we're just gonna get on with the show. I'm sorry that this is happening in the live stream, everybody, but apparently this is what happens when you get over 8 viewers at a concurrent time period. your live chat gets spammed. But next time we'll have to try to figure out a way to just remove these bots from the chat somehow. All right. Anyway, we're gonna move into our fan segment now. Our fan segment this week is going to be our question of the week, combined with our top 5 plus the Matt shit on himself section of that particular segment. So first up, our question of the week this week is a kind of a redo from last week. Last week we covered who was the greatest Sith of all time. This week is going to be who was the greatest Jedi of all time. And, Matt and I were talking before the stream went live, before we started recording, and we're like, you know what? This one's a lot harder than the greatest Sith because, one, there are more well-known Sith than there are well-known Jedi, especially when it comes to their greatness and their level of power. Like, not a lot of people know Old Republic Jedi. Not a lot of people know, pre-movie Jedi. Like, the only ones that you could probably name are your KOTOR characters, and then if you played any of the other video games, you can be like, oh yeah, this Kyle Katarn or Jaden Core. So like, you don't have as many, in my opinion, you don't have as many options as you do for those. So so we're gonna
dude, I'm mesmerized by the bots.
That's just
I'm zoned out. Like I'm like a cat, man. It's just like staring out a window right now.
Yeah.
It's like broo, 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 broo. I mean, it's like, hey, this is what it's like to be on a popular live stream, except they're not real comments.
Yeah.
You really can't see jack shit. They just scrolls right by. I'm just gonna hide it, so I quit getting distracted.
Matt is completely distracted. I'm sorry again, guys. If you guys don't feel like sitting there knocking them out, you can just let the spam continue, and we'll just finish the show. Because hopefully, we'll be wrapping it up here soon, within the next 25 minutes or so. So let's kick off the question of the week. as I said, question is, who is the greatest Sith of all time and why? I will take the first story response here that we got, and then I'll let Matt take the next one, because the next one is going to be Bostajan's personal novel on the opinion here. So first up is from Liam Samard Photography on Instagram, and his response is, I think I would like to say Qui-Gon Jinn. Well, you don't have to think you like to say it. You can just say it, Liam. The reason I say this is because when looking at his achievements, you could see how underrated he is. First off, he was the first Jedi to master becoming a Force ghost. He was able to teach himself the ability to keep a consciousness after death and the ability to appear as a ghost to help other Jedi in need. And later, he was able to teach that to other Jedi, such as Yoda and Obi-Wan. Looking at this, it may not seem like an achievement for a Jedi, but he was one of the few Jedi to see the flaws of the Jedi Order and how they were not as good and peaceful as they said they were. That's why I think he's the greatest Jedi. P.S. I tried my best this time on my punctuation and spelling for you, Nick, because last time it was too hard, apparently. Well, you did better. I will say in your next response to work on your wording and phrasing.
There you go, young Liam. It's like coming to school after school.
Yeah, we're teaching 16-year-old Liam some grammar lessons. But Qui-Gon Jinn was a popular response. So very good answer there, Liam. All right, Matt, that brings us to you and
yes,
Darth Hideous.
I have to do my performance of the week.
I'll tune out here. I'll go eat some lunch and come back, and Matt will still be reading this.
Yeah,
one.
I'll send you some smoke signals when I'm done here. All right, everyone's familiar with this at this point in time. We may have to put him on the bench for a few weeks so he stops typing 5-page long anecdotes about his answers to the fan question. Now, with that being said, they're always fun to read, and they do tell a tale that is interesting to hear. But the 4 or 5 screenshots to capture Darth Hidious's answers these days are getting a little long-winded.
Yeah,
but here we go. I'll do it nonetheless. All right. Another sucktacular question from the corpulent minds of Star Wars Time show. I'm going for a long one here, boys. Matt, you better do some yoga for this. Don't worry, I stretched it out when I took a wee. Who was the greatest Jedi? Well, fuck me. Yoda was pretty great. Not great enough to sense the rotting bloat that had infected the Order. Not great enough to sense several generations of Sith come and go right under his pudgy little nose. Not great enough to sense the hubris that plagued the leader of the Jedi Order. Not great enough to stop Anakin from falling to the dark side. Not great enough to stop Order 66. Not great enough to stop a fucking weakened Sith Lord. I need double caps for this because I'm shouting my sausage tits off. Not great enough to tell Luke Vader was his fucking father. Then you have Mace. Say what again, motherfucker? Windu. He was so preoccupied with slapping cunts in the face with his purple cock that he also suffered from the same fuckery that Yoda suffered from. I mean, this beautiful bald cunt had Sidious by the balls. All he needed to do was bring 1 or 2 more Jedi to stop Anakin from entering Palp's office, and it would have been roll credits. But no, he was blinded by his own ego that he would be the one to bring down the Jedi, and he lost his hand holding his purple wang before all but being kicked out of the window. All that was missing was Palp screaming, "This is Sidious!" Gerard Butler reference, in case anyone didn't get that. In the end, he was the most responsible for the end of the Jedi. That's Mace. Shut the fuck up and don't bother saying Revan. Pussy. Obi-Wan, possibly, but his faults were all the same as Wang Boy and Yoda. The only difference was that he got lucky and lived to write himself as the valiant hero that tried to stop Vader. But he didn't! He couldn't even do that. What the fuck is it with Jedi needing to gloat before finishing the job? Why would he have left Anakin laying there burnt up in agony and not kill him? What was he trying to prove? Well, that fucked him in the good ass. Well, hold on. Well, that fucked him in the ass good and hard. He took that red rocket right in the ham wallet, but not before Vader killed nearly all the remaining Jedi. And all that blood has to be on Obi-Wan from a certain point of view. Fucking Kenobi. As far as I can see, the only Jedi that actually knew what was happening and knew how to stop it was Qui-Gon. He saw what was happening to the Jedi. He knew how fucked it was to stick strictly to dogma. He knew it made no sense to not let Jedi feel compassion and love for others. He was the first Jedi to encounter a Sith in over 1,000 years. He knew what was at stake with Anakin, and he knew that the boy needed a father figure to show him love, not a brother that he was competing with. He fucking knew. He was in touch with the living Force. He worked out how to maintain his spirit alive via the Force and to actually communicate with others. He knew that the Force wasn't just the light and the dark. It was the places in between those that gave you the greatest power. Understanding that everyone carried darkness and that to be one with the Force, you couldn't just cut off that part of you, but instead you had to control it, have mastery over it, and ultimately not be afraid of it. Qui-Gon was the greatest. He just had shit cunts for friends. The end.
The end of story time with Basta Jan. Thank you very much, Basta Jan, for your response. He came to the same conclusion as Liam did, so Qui-Gon Jinn.
It just took many more screenshots to get there. So
Yeah. All right, so Qui-Gon is definitely a popular response within this one, I'll tell you that. Next up is our good friend from Facebook, Anthony, that was brought to us by our other good friend, Action Figure Noob, aka Brian, over on Instagram. So his response opens up with the Matt Haywood special. Hey now, I'm back for the question of the week. He says, to be honest, the only Jedi I can think of worthy to be called great is the one and only Qui-Gon Jinn. I have a very particular set of skills, Jinn. So the Taken quote, is he the most powerful Jedi ever? Certainly not. The wisest, perhaps not in the traditional sense, but my God, he is one of the only ones that did not have his head all the way up his ass. He's the only Jedi in the movies that ended up not getting mired in politics and bending over and spreading his cheeks for the Senate. He did not want a Jedi. He did what a Jedi should be doing and followed the will of the living Force and clearly had his priorities in the right place. And let's be honest, if he trained Anakin, things probably would have turned out very differently.
I'm starting to feel like I have to go buy a Qui-Gon Hot Toys with how many Qui-Gons we got.
I can't argue with a lot of these responses because even though he did get fucking bested by what was essentially, at the time, Maul was a very powerful fighter in terms of a Sith, but I feel like a Jedi master to the level that Qui-Gon was probably should have been able to take him out. So he says, I think he was the greatest Jedi because he was just a decent and genuine human being, unlike some other people. Cough, Mace, cough. There you go. So that was another Qui-Gon lover there, and I can't argue with that. Like you were saying, maybe you do have to go buy the Jinn Hot Toys, the Qui-Gon Jinn Hot Toys, that is, because he's a very popular one. For only being in one movie and not even featured that much in any of the cartoon series and essentially no other Star Wars properties, the motherfucker is very loved. So, good answer there, Anthony. Next up, we have Baron's Black Series. And he has
Let me guess,
answer.
he picked Qui-Gon.
He did not. He said, gotta be Kit.
Oh, yeah, he's got a hard on for Kit. I knew that.
He does. He's a big fan of the Fisto. He says, calm and collected and always has a smile. No matter how bad things get, he is always looking on the bright side of things. Plus, he figured out how to use a lightsaber underwater. I mean, he was smiling until he got fucking stabbed through the chest.
Yeah, doesn't he specifically in Clones, he gets a full-on frame shot where he just goes hey,
he force pushes you.
He looks like he's always baked out on crack or something.
Yeah, dude. Space Jesus in here is asking, you all forgot Luke? That's and I mentioned this to Matt before, Space Jesus. I do believe that a lot of our fans here forgot about Luke Skywalker. They need to go talk to Dr.
Yeah,
Dre
I mean,
and
we talked about that
song.
beforehand. And considering like how upset people were at how Jedi Master Luke Skywalker was portrayed, you'd think they would hold him in higher regards in terms of Jedi, but he wasn't even mentioned once, right?
There was no choices of Luke.
See,
I mean,
so do you
William
guys really think
Alexander
Luke
in
is a
our chat
badass?
is
Do you really think Luke is a badass? And if not a single person thought of him as a great Jedi?
Yeah, like William Alexander in the chat is like, oh, they'll get to Luke for sure. Unfortunately, for Space Jesus and William Alexander, none of our respondents chose Luke Skywalker.
It seems you two need to respond or something, because Luke was forgotten about.
He definitely was. So Lima 4 Photos is up next, our good buddy from our Discord. He says, it would be Obi-Wan Kenobi for me. He epitomized what a true Jedi should be, true to the light, but not overly dogmatic, which is why he remained in touch with reality and never lost his compassion for others. So, I mean, I think that Obi-Wan is definitely up there to be considered, in my opinion. Like, was he as, you know, I don't want to say clairvoyant, but could he see as far into the future and see with clarity that what Qui-Gon could? Probably not. But I think that given,
I mean, Obi-Wan is kind of an asshole, really. He's an expert liar. He's a revisionist in terms of history.
Yeah.
He failed a lot.
You're right, but I think that without Obi-Wan, there is no Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and even more so than Yoda, in my opinion. Like, without Obi-Wan.
And we have to agree that Yoda is the one that actually taught him how to use the Force. Obi-Wan didn't teach him shit, really. He taught him how to hold a lightsaber and not get shot by a training remote, and then he died. He taught him that he could communicate to Luke through the Force after death. But in terms of Luke's true training, at least in the films, I believe Yoda is considered responsible for it.
Yes, he is responsible. But I just feel like Obi-Wan, especially like if you consider the prequels, like he literally does everything he can for Anakin. Like he picked up the mantle that
except
Qui-Gon
kill him.
left.
Like the one thing he couldn't do that would have probably helped Anakin the most was kill him.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, really,
that
kill
would
him.
have been the best thing to do. But like, I don't think that he could have done any better than what he did. There was just too many forces at work against him for Anakin to have come out on top as a true Jedi. But that's just my opinion. So next up, Scion XTC. He said, this one is a lot tougher than picking a top Sith. I will agree with that. But I'm going with Obi-Wan. He defeated Darth Maul, Grievous,
that's
and
a good
Anakin.
Case. Yeah, that's a good case.
Survived Order 66, and after all that, he remained hidden until he joined Luke.
Okay, I'll give it to you guys and Kenobi. He's not that bad.
Yeah, he did take down a pretty hefty, number of combatants.
Yeah, big bads. Like his big bad kill list is pretty legit.
Yeah, I will say, okay, Old Architect Customs in chat says that in old canon, Luke was top tier in terms of Jedi, and I will agree. Old canon Luke was like, they literally built him up to be this exact
that's the Luke
Jedi
that everyone wanted to see in these movies, and it doesn't even sound like that was going to be the case if George did it.
If George did it, he was going to nuke him, and well, I don't know how he would have played it out, but he would have at least had Luke Skywalker killed.
Correct.
By episode
that
8.
is confirmed because Nick's reading a new book with little nuggets here and there, but that is confirmed. George was going to whack Luke in episode 8 as well.
Yeah. But that also, like, I don't know how that movie canon would have worked with the novel canon at the time.
That's another good point from William.
assume-
Luke in movie canon cuts himself off from the Force. That's not very Jedi-like either. So
Yeah. So not very top
there
tier
you go,
Jedi.
Luke, you little whiny bitch.
All right, next up, The Fig Show says, that's a tough question. I think the best were Yoda, Qui-Gon, Obi, and Mace. Mace did almost kill Palpatine, and that says a lot. I don't know if Obi-Wan could have. What he was going for
Yeah,
there.
Fig Show just quit. He's like, you know what? Why am I replying to this shitty Star Wars time
This
show?
fucking dumb.
He
Why
literally
am
just
I here?
stops typing mid-sentence. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah. I think that Mace is the best. I mean, this is going to be hard to say because I think that Mace, in terms of not what we see in the movies, but basically the way that they wanted to portray him, I think that he was the best Jedi combatant.
Fighter,
Like,
yes. And we have to look this up, but I believe it's in the behind-the-scenes commentary, the director's commentary for Revenge of the Sith. And I think Georgie Boy does confirm that Mace did beat Palpatine and it wasn't a show.
Yeah. Like it was just a straight up lightsaber to lightsaber defeat. So
right. But I do. I mean, I think Mace, and I believe Hideous was the one that hinted at this in that long-winded, explicative-filled response. I do think Mace was just as, if not more, of the reason for the fall than Yoda. Yeah, because I think Mace's arrogance and just the way he would kind of talk over Yoda sometimes, even in the council chamber, like he's always throwing his big dick around, right? Like, no, we're not going to train him. Well, who the fuck are you? What's this little green guy say?
Yeah, I mean, Yoda was around far longer than Mace. Also, Mace was the one that really head fucked Anakin.
Of course,
like,
that's what I mean.
To like an equal degree as Palpatine.
Yeah, like I really think Mace was just as big of a reason for Anakin's turn as Palpatine's.
Yeah,
movies and in the cartoons. I mean, Mace is a dick.
Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Next one up is from
EKU Rory. Look at that.
EK, I don't know who
this is. This is another personal friend here.
Nice, EKU Rory. He says Kosa Yin Hadu Gungan Jedi, plain and simple.
What an asshole! Where did he even pull that up? Is that it? Has to be real because I bet he looked it up. Because he wouldn't just make it up because he's not in the Star Wars enough to just.
It's a real thing.
There
Wikipedia.
You go. Look at this. Look at this guy. Like I've slowly worked on him. Like I have him going through the Clone Wars now.
He turned Sith apparently. so Kosa Yin Hadu,
what a motherfucker. Well, Rory, if you're listening, there you go. You got an answer on the show. You tried, you did a little research, but you cannot trick Nick.
Yeah, he trained to be a Jedi.
Kosa Yin Hadu.
So I guess it kind of counts. You can still say Anakin Skywalker.
I guarantee this guy purposely looked up Gungan Jedi just to see if there were any to drop that answer. Yeah.
Next up, Max Maldini here from Instagram says Mace Windu. He cut off Jango's head and would have defeated Palpatine if it wasn't for Anakin's intervention. He was badass. I mean, we agree.
So did get some maces up there.
Yeah. Old Architect says he didn't give an answer because he couldn't think of a great Jedi.
There you go. Next one here from Herminator06. Yoda, because he may be tiny, but he can move, and because he was the wisest of the Jedi. Yeah, I mean, I'm really thinking about this one. You kind of do have to give it to Yoda just for the length that he was at, the level of Grandmaster, the amount of Jedi he trained. Like, you got to think his influence was spanned generations of Jedi. Like his teachings, generations, hundreds and hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. But there really aren't many Jedi unless you got into the games, the SWTORs, the EUs, all the shit that's been aborted at this point.
Yeah, it's hard because like greatness was never something that, and I guess this is a very interesting way to look at it, is that greatness isn't something that Jedi strove for.
Right.
Like they never strove to be
it's
like,
probably the wrong descriptor for Jedi, and the most honorable or the most prescient. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's hard because I wanted to get the same type of responses, like who do you think the best Jedi was? But like Sith strove for greatness. They strove to do things that no Sith had ever done before.
They wanted to stand out where Jedi tried hard to never stand out.
Exactly. So it's very different in terms of how they operated. But I mean, Herminator is right that, you know, in terms of longevity of Jedi and in terms of wisdom, probably Yoda would be
skills.
The best.
Up next, we got Bat 2797, who I believe
Which I think is William Alexander. Right. Is that William Alexander
I think
in
so.
chat?
He says,
need to change my name. So yeah, he says, I'm going to throw in Obi. He was definitely one of the most cunning. I think he also stayed truest to the Jedi teachings and never cut himself off from the Force. He defeated multiple Sith, gave up his true love for the Republic, and sacrificed himself so the Jedi could live on. His story is actually one of the more fleshed out one for us, and of course the high ground. Yes, indeedy.
All right,
high ground.
You motherfuckers sold me on Kenobi. At first, I was a little down on him because of how much he lied to Luke and his mishaps with Anakin. But he redeemed a lot of shit. What he does in A New Hope, I think, it's discounted if you don't really think and analyze what he did there. I mean, he knew that by dying and becoming one with the Force, he could better serve this young pupil and the galaxy as a whole versus remaining in his fleshy shell.
Exactly.
That's some big shit there.
I do think that Kenobi is definitely top 3.
Yeah, he's just, I mean, we can blame George on some of the reasons why Kenobi's a little squirrely. I mean, George is the one that wrote all 6 movies and yet contradicted most of the shit that he wrote in the original trilogy with the prequels.
That is true.
So it is the old certain point of view stuff. We do have that. That's like the faith argument. You know, it's the catch-all.
Yeah. So last one up. This is from Lord of Thane. He says Rey because she is all of the Jedi.
Well, there you go.
That's actually pretty solid response. You got.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I know it won't be a popular opinion with most people, but if you think about her pedigree, what she does, what she channeled, who she defeated, the dyad aspect, which apparently is stronger than even being the chosen one, at least according to the movies. She has to be up there in terms of pure power and the mental aspect. Yeah, I mean, she was a fucking Palpatine. Could use Force lightning, like to the point she let her dark side grow enough. Could use Force lightning, but still had a strong enough head on her shoulders, like a Kenobi, to not become a fuck off like Anakin.
So here's a question for you, Matt. Last week we talked about the Sith bloodline that had led up to Palpatine essentially just being stacks on stacks on stacks of Sith all just compounded onto each other.
Right.
Since she is of Palpatine blood, like she is a Palpatine and has that bloodline and thus that Force essence within her, is she just like doubly powerful now because she's got all of these Sith and all of these Jedi?
No, well, we'll get nerdy here, science nerdy, Force nerds. I would assume when she literally melted the motherfucker Indiana Jones style, that she vanquished all of those spirits with him.
So all of the Sith.
Yeah, because don't you even see like those black shadowy figures? Don't they all disappear too in the blast? Well, I don't know if they disappear because when you see the temple crumbling, like you specifically see like rocks hitting some of them. So I don't know if they like disintegrate, but they definitely all died. So tough. Yeah, so I think she probably wiped them all out, but I mean, she did.
But here's what I want from this. Like, I really want Rey as a character to continue to grow in expanded universe canon.
I know, man, but it's not going to happen. I don't think they're going to do it. First off, I don't think Daisy wants to do it. Second off, they want to get away from these quote unquote Skywalker threads.
Oh no. I agree that I don't think that Daisy is ever coming back, but like in these like they keep saying they want to get away from the Skywalker threads, but every fucking comic that comes out is Skywalker. Every video game that comes out is related to Skywalker in some ways in that time period. So why not take Rey, who is this character that you did kind of bungle at the end, but who's the beginning of her story was done brilliantly in TFA.
Yes, man. Well, I mean, there's a point in time, both forms of Obi-Wan are speaking to her.
Yeah. Like, I think that you have the opportunity to take this character in novels, in comic books, in video games, and really expand her to be what you wanted her to be at the end of TROS. This incredible Jedi light side paragon that is now the new force for good in the galaxy, which we didn't really get there in the movies, but you have the opportunity to do that in these comic threads and novels and everything like that. So I really hope that comes together.
That'd be nice. We'll see. I mean,
who knows?
I was a huge fan of Rey really up until TROS and having that bullshit blessed on her, and it is what it is at this point. All right, dude. we're going long again. It's going to be another 3-hour show for free. Free! That's how we do it. Free. That's how we do it. We are full of hot air, and a lot of that hot air is Star Wars oriented.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay, so to close out our honoring of the fans, because that's what we do. So if you like podcasts where you may hear your name, or you may hear nice things said about you, or sometimes some shitty things said about you, you should get involved with the Star Wars Time Show. Yeah. But in particular, if you are someone that likes to get into some art, some Star Wars art, be it toy photography, real-ass paint, real-ass pencils, this segment is for you. And to get in on it, we just need you to follow at Star Wars Time Show on Instagram and use hashtag Star Wars Time Show in all of your Star Wars posts. And if you're someone like Liam and Cryo and the rest of the game, you'll tag us in every fucking post you put up, whether it's Star Wars or not. But we are here for you to double tap and give you some love. All right. So, if you do that, you could get the first honor of being featured on our account. So me, Matt, yours truly, I do 12 features a day at Star Wars Time Show. You can go check it out right now if you want to. And then at the end of the week, before we fire up the mics to talk about all things Star Wars and our fans, Nick picks 5 of his favorite from that week's worth of 12 posts per day. And that leads us to where we are now. The top 5 Star Wars fan artist features of the week. All right, my friend, who did you pick first?
First up is one of our chat participants, one of our good buddies here. This is Old Architect Customs, taking what was said to be a very, I don't know if this is the actual Nihilist figure he's using from GameStop.
It is, and
it is,
I'll give you some insights, Nick, because I know you don't follow this stuff as closely as I do, because you're not really into the hobby itself. But OAC, I mean, besides taking this fantastic shot of Nihilus, he has also kit bashed him a bit to make him look even better. That is not this version. I think this shot is a picture of the standard Nihilus you would get out of the box. Okay. Still a fantastic shot. I mean, I like the effects. I really like the tone in this Old Architect Custom shot. It's a little darker, not as much light.
Yes.
But I think it really fits well for Nihilus. It kind of gave it a classic look. Like an older photograph look. I don't know. I mean, it was just a really solid image of what's his name? The Eater of Worlds, the Lord of Hunger. Yeah.
The Lord of Hunger. So we see Nihilus with his blade ignited and shooting force lightning out of one of his hands. I mean, Nihilus, I don't want to say is an easy figure to look cool, because as we all know, when you're doing toy photography, it's never easy. No. But Nihilus has just such an incredible look. His mask, the way that his cowl, his hood falls.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have eyes.
Yeah, no eyes. And I think OAC actually threw a soft goods cape on him as well, because I don't know.
No, he comes with soft goods. I actually shot Nihilus too. I'm just back in the right where I shoot shit and then I just let it sit on my iPad, never develop and process.
There we go. Well, there we go. So, beautiful shot, beautiful representation of Darth Nihilus, the Lord of Hunger, from @old_.
Here, I'll go pull up his account and show you the custom he was working on real quick if I can, because it looks like he's taking shots of the custom version now. Here we go. Yeah, I got it up here. He added a lot of soft goods to the front.
Yeah, I'm looking
to cover all that shit up. It looks so much better than what you get out of the box. I mean, I don't know if he's borrowing stuff from some of the Kylo Ren figures, but I like what OAC did with his Kit Bash custom Nihilus. Looking good.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
So OAC, our first member of the top 5 this week. Next up is @Treva.
Oh shit!
Mather.
I haven't put up the picture. Hold on, Nick. I never switched back to the browser.
Okay.
Hold on. Let everyone look at OAC's picture. That was my fuck up. There you go, guys. That's what I get for not paying attention to the chat after we got bombarded with motherfucking bots. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's
now
his
you can see
shot, and
OAC's shot.
now I'll show you his custom. I mean, we're not professionals here. Everyone knows that. We're just two jerk-offs that like to stick our thumbs up our butts and talk about Star Wars. There's his custom right there.
Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. So
Looking
at
good.
old_architect_customs on Instagram. Beautiful work for the top 5 this week.
Are you guys going to
up-
put up the picture? Yeah, we might.
Yeah, I think it's up now.
Yeah,
You
we're
guys
up
can
now.
see.
We got it, my friends. So the delay should catch up, and you all should be happy. So calm the fuck down. We're moving on.
All right, moving on. Next up is at Treva, Treva Mather, Mather on Instagram. And this shot here was hard. Like Matt, you might need to help me out here. Is this an actual toy shot? Like, is the primary figure that we see here a toy? Or is this like some other piece of like Photoshop artwork that was done by Treva Mather?
I mean, I thought it was a toy, but the more I look at him, like, I don't know. I've never seen this trooper with that hose. So unless he customized it, which he very well could have. Either way, I mean, doesn't it feel like a video game cover to you?
That's what I was gonna say, man. Like, this looks like a video game thing. I mean, Treva's account says, aspiring Gertie photographer of toys, big and small, living on Australia's Gold Coast. So this is clearly Greg's cousin. This is Greg Bird's cousin here.
Yeah,
that's made the
anyone,
top
like
5.
all our Australian fans, I feel like they're all related.
Yeah, they're definitely all related because, as we know, Australia, the fake continent of Australia, is just inhabited by all family members.
Yeah.
So, but what Treva has here is, like you said, it's fucking beautiful. I think it is a toy pick that he's using. This
You put like a filter on it or something.
Yeah, just like a filter that really perfectly mashes this stormtrooper up front as your primary focus with the background that does make it look almost just exactly like a video game.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a promotional poster for Battlefront.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just such a well blended photograph here. And it really was hard for me to be able to tell, like, man, is this like a real toy that he's taking a picture of here, or is this like a Photoshop job that he kind of threw together?
Like I said, we're here for all the Star Wars arts. Doesn't have to just be toy photography. Video game photography, that is a thing these days, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean,
composites like this, the real ass paint.
Yeah,
stick figures, clay sculptures, it doesn't matter. We'll take it all.
Yeah. So
hashtag Star Wars Time Show.
any kind of artwork you do, send it our way. At Treva, Treva _ I mean, not underscore, at Treva Mather on.
Yeah, I like this account.
Instagram.
He does some fun stuff. Like I shared this one. It didn't make it to the top 5, but I'm on his account now, Nick. Do you see the full Mando?
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's awesome. Where it's a play on the full Monty. He's got all these naked figures with their helmets or balloons covering their crotches. That's
Good
slick.
stuff.
I like that. Or the one where he put the Predator head on Iggy Pop's body.
Oh God. Oh, yep. I see that one now
I like
too.
that. I like that type of stuff there. So, Treva Mather, Treva Mather.
Well done. Next up is our good buddy Lima 4
There it
photos
is.
in the top 5 this week.
Lima and his famous clones, man. These are probably my favorite custom clones in the community. Remember, he's from the Philippines, I believe. So us here in this proper states, we can't really commission all of Lima's customizers because he also has a badass dio maker, because that is a legit dio we also see in this shop. But he also made those figs. I believe, who are we looking at there? Is that Fives or Echo? The lead one? I forget the one. I always forget their helmet marks and who's who. I think that's
don't know.
Fives.
I'm not good at identifying clones, but Lima's in the chat, so he can let us know when it catches up. So, but yeah, I mean, Lima, his work on these custom figures is, like you said, probably the best that I've ever seen. I know that I'm not as, prevalent in the community as you guys are, but the way, I mean, it's not just the figures, it's the poses,
right.
It's the setup. It's everything that you can feel in the shot. Like, these guys are about to do a breach and go
exactly
and fucking bust into this room and either shoot down somebody who's in there or run a black bag capture job. Like, this is just so well executed. Even the tone of the shot, like, it's not as brightly colored as some of the other shots, but it should be a little bit more, dim and bleak because of
it's got a cooler tone to it,
Yeah.
It goes closer to the cool side of the warm or the color scale, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
So he says that it's 5s in the lead.
Yeah, 5's in the lead. Then I think that's Echo, because Jesse would have the cog on his head, and then Rex is there, and then just some rando dude.
Yeah, some random.
No, that's what I'm gonna say about Lima 4. It's the posing. Like this is an account again. I look at him like, oh, I wish I could fucking pose and make them look real like that, and I could probably get away from just doing portraits and, hey, it's me standing here, a figure. Yeah, as Nick said, this is a scene. A scene is created. I mean, Nick wrote the story based on the picture. He came up with they're breaching something. They're going after a target. 5's is in the lead. He's the one counting it down. Rex is placing the charge. It's because of his posing. Like we said, those figures are fucking badass.
I think he says he gets them from Gooseman_customs on Instagram.
Gooseman_customs for the clones, and then @_ _static_ for the Dio.
Yes.
But back to my point, we can all buy badass looking figures. That's easy. If you have the money. Obviously, if you don't, it's a little harder, and you probably hate people that can do it. Not all of us can take said figures and honor their badassery with a complimentary shot of said figures. Lima is one of them. I mean, he gives these guys life. He creates scenes. The scenes tell a story. This is something I would love to work more myself on. It's, as Nick said, it's the lack of patience. It's getting a window to go shoot. I just run downstairs and, oh shit, there's Mandalorian. Stand them here, turn on a light, and I'm stuck in portrait land. The creativity gets killed. So, keep it up, Lima. Keep it up. Loving the posing, loving the shots. Definitely a account that we follow closely. We follow all of you closely. Yeah. But there are a few, I'm not going to lie, they stand out. And this is one of them, @Lima4photos on Instagram.
Yeah, hopefully we can get some more, get him over the 1,000 mark here, because this guy.
Yeah, he unfortunately, I mean, there's been a few accounts that have shown up over this past year. Some have gotten the graces with IG. I'll name them. I don't know if we've done a top 5 with him yet, but I've seen his account just explode, and he's only been on for a year, and that's 97 Parsecs Photography.
Yeah, he's definitely been in the top 5 before.
I mean, his shots now are clearing 800 to 1,500, and they're quality. This isn't me shitting on him. It just shows you how you can have an account like Lima, which in my opinion puts out high quality scene shots, that doesn't quite get that algo boost where a shot like 97 Parsecs, who I believe started this time last year at 0, is now on track to have more followers than even Star Wars Time Show. We've been around for 2 years. So, I mean, it goes to show you, with IG, if you're good at toy photography and the algo likes you, you will go places. Your account will explode. You will get great traction. But hopefully you can also be really good at this, and if the algo does not like you, it can cripple your soul.
Yeah, hopefully everybody gets their time in the light with the algorithm. Lima 4 definitely deserves his. So good job @Lima4photos on Instagram. 4 is spelled out FOUR. Well worth a follow for sure. Next up is our good buddy @SuperScoundrel here, super_scoundrel. And I actually had 2. When I was going through, I was picking the top 5. I picked one, and then I picked another, and I was like, they're both super scoundrel ones.
Bro, I mean,
which one do I really want?
He's an account that, again, I have to govern it. I have to temper myself. I mean, there are times where, I mean, we're now in my folder, I have 200 shots to share that span, I think, from end of September up until now.
Wow.
And usually every few scrolls, it's a super scoundrel. So I have to stop myself from every day or every other day just sharing one of his new creations, because he's been on this, what we're looking at now, this is his cyberpunk phase of Mandalorian and Star Wars art. He's been doing a lot of these for a t-shirt company. These are designs I actually think you can go out and buy. So check out at @superscore_scoundrel. I think he has the links to the company printing these shirts. But yeah, I mean, between these concepts and then just his traditional vector art of character portraits, it's a hard account not to want to just throw up new shots every day.
Yeah, this shit is so incredible. So what we're seeing here, for those people who aren't watching on YouTube or on live stream, is we see a Mando, but it is a Miami Vice style Mando.
It's 80s, cyberpunk type of shit.
Yeah, so you have like the Miami Vice style sunset in the background with like the pink palm trees, the pink and black palm trees going up the back, and then bright yellow letters up front. It says "This is the way," and like a literal like 80s rad font. And just the style of this was so perfect, because the other one that I had, I believe, was a Death Watch Mando. And I was like, okay, this is good. But this one here, this fucking Miami Vice Mando is like next level shit.
Yeah.
And if Devin does have this for sale, I think I might go snag a shirt.
No,
of that.
I don't think he sells them personally. He's working with another account, but I know on these shots on his account, if you look through them, he'll have the details. But yeah, I mean, this is tattoo. Good. This is bust out your old jean jacket and throw on a fucking patch of it on the back. I mean, it's what we call bitchin'.
Yeah, he says he's got some Mando Vice coming on Friday.
Told you, man. He's channeling that 80s punk feel.
And also he's an admin in our YouTube channel now. So
that's right. He's been elevated. He's no longer resident real ass painter extraordinaire. He now has to deal with Russian bots in our live stream chat.
Yeah. So there we go. But yeah, I mean, this shot. I mean, everything Devin puts out is just top quality.
Let's just go tour his account real quick, because I think there's some new people in here that might not see or have seen what good old Super Scoundrel gets into. Here's some of his other shirts.
That fucking Grievous thing, man.
The Before the Dark Time shirt with the Razor Crest, the bleeding eyes TIE Fighter pilot helmet. This is the way. I mean, that's like 100% an 80s album cover right there. Where he's got the armorer's head on it.
Dude, that's so badass.
Like the Halloween style silhouette. I mean, come on. Like, we could scroll through his page all day long. Look at this guy. This guy.
It is just, yeah, man. That is some nasty stuff.
And
right
then he's got Star Wars props, then comes in and animates the shit. So I'm playing the Grievous that is now animated. It's like a motion graphic.
Dude, I love this. I love that Devin has been able to see the success that he has seen on Instagram, and he's able to turn it into something where he can start to get some income. I even remember Devin did Papa Palpatine, one of our favorites over here at the Star Wars Time Show.
Yeah, he did his logo.
He redid, Papa's logo. He did like a fully vector art version of Papa's logo. So Devin, quote
me on this, and obviously we're not going to take credit, but I believe when we first featured you were maybe at 5,000 followers. I believe you're under 7.
Yeah.
And now he's at almost 18,000. And
it's all because of us.
You can say what you want, but it could be because we've spoken his name on the fabled Star Wars Time Show Top 5 Fan Artist Features of the Week. You never know. I mean, you never know.
Yeah. Man,
I mean, some will say it's because of his artistic talents. Others will say, that's because of the Star Wars Time Show.
Yeah. So, yeah, this go to the storefront, because it's like, go to Devin's profile,
there it is. I'll just break open
link.
the whole damn store.
Yeah. He said he was about to hit 3K. Jesus.
Yeah,
man.
and I believe Devin, again, we've only been internet friends for like a year at this point, I think, if that.
Maybe a little bit longer than a year. I'd have to go back, but yeah, here you go.
I'm scrolling through some of the shirts. They're up there. There's the logo we were talking about. This is the way too, in black or white T-shirt. Before the Dark Times with the Disney D. So check him out, man. Check him out. He's a good guy too. I mean, he's one of the bigger accounts that comes in and plays with our low level asses all the time. He promotes it out there. he lets people know. I mean, he folded Star Wars props into the fold. He's done his homework. Remember, if you become a fan of the Star Wars Time Show, that's not enough for us. You have to then go out and become a surrogate for the Star Wars Time Show. You have to go on Fox News for the Star Wars Time Show, right?
Yeah, I know. Right?
You better
Get
be
all of those old people.
You better be stumping for the SWTS once we grace you by bringing you into the fold. Okay?
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We can't say enough about Devin and his work. Go definitely if you like his art style and you like what he puts out on Instagram, go to the shop, support him financially if you can.
I just like how I'm trying to bogart some of his success with our dumb show.
No, it's
Hey, Vicente, that's Lima 4. He's saying that he thinks SWT got him 600 to 900 followers. So there, see.
Hey man, it's possible. It's possible. So. Beautiful work at super_scoundrel on Instagram for those of you out there looking for some dope ass Mando or Star Wars gear.
Hey Devin, I still want the fucking
profile.
coffee table book with foil like pages. Okay, Christmas will work. All right.
Yes indeed. So good stuff here. All right, last up for the top 5 before we get into the Matt Haywood Pop Shot Breakdown of the Week. This is going to be like a 3-hour and 20-minute show at least.
Oh, my God.
Is Darth Kikucho, DarthKikucho on Instagram.
I'm laughing at Devin in the chat. He said, you need to tattoo your ass with Star Wars Time Show. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm asking for. That would help.
Yeah, you got to get the brand on there. So,
all right, go ahead. Darth Kikucho.
Darth Kikucho here, and what we have is a really well-placed shot of, a well set up, well executed shot of our good old rebellion buddies, Han, Leia, C-3PO, and R2-D2 hiding behind a big rock from what looks like, and what I like about this, what looks like a second sister in the background, and then some Imperial troopers kind of scouring the landscape looking for them.
We got a flavor. He's got essentially the gaming greats troopers on display.
Yeah, all of them.
So you got the second sister, she's a gaming great. You got the trooper captain or commander, he's a gaming great. The jump trooper was a gaming great. The shadow commander is a gaming great. And the one back there, I believe, is a purge trooper.
The helmet line.
Another gaming great. So EB Games, or I think Kikucho is German, so I don't know where he or she got these, but yeah, it's a nice laid out scene first and foremost.
I love the atmosphere effect he's got going on
some
too.
Some good aerosol effects going on. Like I said, it's a nice mix of the Empire coming after our heroes. You got Han, Leia, and the droids. No Luke. Luke's probably whining about something, right? He's probably bitching and moaning.
Yeah.
It's just, these are ones like, being someone that meddles in this hobby, to think about this setup, where his camera might have been to fit in kind of the more landscape approach here. It's impressive. I mean, getting these shitheads to stand and stay where you want them to. Outside, nonetheless, where you have to deal with the forces of nature, like wind, this, that, and the other thing. It's always impressive. So I don't think I've ever featured a shot that has had more than 2 or 3 figures. So when you start to get these that have upwards of 8, 9, 10, it's impressive, because it's the time to set the little cocksuckers up, make sure they look right in your frame. I don't know about anyone here, but I doubt you get your poses perfect the first time. You probably make an initial stab. You go back, you look at your viewfinder. Is it lined up? Nope. Han looks like he's fake. Han looks like he has a broomstick up his ass. I got to move him. When you move him, then Princess Leia falls over, and then we get into the fun of the hobby.
Indeed. So,
and this is why I don't do shots with multiple figures, because of the domino bullshit.
I also like scenes like this because you can almost play it out in your head.
Right.
Like, his original caption was perfect, because he says, I think it's just "shut up, Goldenrod." And you know that the way that he's got 3PO positioned, 3PO's freaking out.
Yeah, he's giving him fucking stats that no one wants to hear about, or odds,
3,000.
Never tell me the odds, that type of shit.
Yeah.
But you're right, Nick, you've said it again. And we always know when there's a good shot. When Nick, who doesn't do this, doesn't collect the toys, loves Star Wars, but honestly could give 2 flying fucks about the little plastic figures. But when you get Nick to say, I'm thinking about the story playing out in my head. That, my friends, is the goal we all want to achieve. When people that don't do this, aren't into it, look at one of your shots and go, I know exactly what's happening here, because you have laid it out in a way that it is telling a story to me, even though it is a static image.
Yes. So Darth Kikucho pulled that off perfectly with this shot. So at Darth, DARTH, KIKUCHO on Instagram. Well done, sir. Very well thought out and executed shot. And that will bring us to the Matt Haywood pop shot breakdown of the week.
Oh, no.
So, Matty.
All right, I'll keep this quick because we're about to set another record for the show, and I don't know what. Remember, I never look at these before I'm live, so I'll be seeing this the first time. I'm sure I'm going to have a negative reaction to it. Here we go.
I don't know. This one's good, man.
Oh, how? You're starting to get into some of the recent work here.
Because usually I go way back. Like I go way back in time and I make Matt hate himself because it's a shot he took 3 years ago and he's like, oh, I could do so much. I wanted to pick something that was recent, that was fresh.
I appreciate it. Sometimes I don't need all that negativity, even though I'm the one that churns it all up, right? But
yeah, I mean, you do it to yourself for sure.
What we're looking at here is a recent shot of the Hot Toys Wicket, which is a fantastic little figure. I mean, if you're a fan of the show, you've been here longer than a few episodes, you know Return of the Jedi is my number one. It's not because of the Ewoks, it's because of age and really the dynamic between Luke and Vader. In particular, their duel at the end. That is Star Wars, that is life. Thank you. But anyways, this figure's fantastic. You could get him with the Rebel Commando Leia. Have a few shots of her out there too that people sort of liked. But this one, Nick, actually, if you can see here, Instagram blessed this shot. This was a Haywood pop shot, and yes, I am talking about myself in the third person because I am a dildo. This is a Haywood pop shot that broke through my usual ceiling of 300 to 400 likes. 891, not too shabby. Not too shabby for a Haywood popper. Simple shot though. Like I've really since lockdown, I have reverted back to my old pop days of getting out, using the ground instead of a table or dioramas, plopping these little shitheads down and trying to come up with a shot that doesn't look like I'm in my backyard in boring-ass Columbus, Ohio, with a privacy fence surrounding it. So to kind of add a little bit more to this shot, I dropped the trooper helmet that comes with them. I'm using the figure stand decorations that came with the figures to bring in some of those ferns. It looks kind of out of place, doesn't really make sense, but it does add something extra to the image, so I'll take it. You know, for example, why would there just be a random rock in the middle of Endor with ferns growing on it?
But
there wouldn't be.
similar to the Darth Kikucho shot and all of the other ones that we talked about here, the little inclusions that you put in there, the helmet, the fog, builds a story, because now instead of just looking at Wicket standing there in the middle of a forest, you can tell this is a shot that happened after the battle on Endor was finished. He's walking away from probably one of the fucking ATSCs that got knocked over. Smoke is billowing.
Hey, look at this. I might have did something right. Nick is weaving a tail in his head, just like we've been talking about.
I mean, this shot, the little inclusions make that story come to life. And, you know, rather it just being a Wicket standing there by himself, that helmet adds something. The smoke, the direction of the smoke blowing adds something. Like everything adds up into this, and you know, like this is Wicket walking away from battle after.
I'll take it. And you know what, Nick? Did I go outside with that idea in mind? Absolutely not. You know how this shot came to be? Oh, hey, it's a random Wednesday. My dad's here watching my kids, so I got some free time to myself. I'm going to run outside and let me grab, Wicket's. I'll grab him. And, well, Leia came with him. I'll grab her. I'll go outside, and literally I'm just looking at the side of my deck. Hey, there's a light ray. I'll set him down there. That's it. And then that looks kind of plain. Maybe I'll try to throw Fern in there and I'll drop the helmet. And then I start to get in, like Nick said, it could be, you know, he's walking home after the battle. But I think I do it ass backwards. I think people that are good at this actually go, I want to shoot a shot that looks like Wicket is leaving the Battle of Endor. And they'll work towards that, where I go, I'm going to throw shit on the fucking ground, and if it looks all right in my viewfinder on the camera, okay.
That's what it is.
Yeah, there we go. I just did that.
But no, man, I mean, this is like the ray of light was beautiful. I mean, so I assume that the flare that you're getting off the end of the spear is actual like sun flare. No,
I actually put a little flare and post on there.
Okay.
I mean, I don't usually do that a lot because it involves using the fake Photoshop thing I use more than I want to.
I mean, that looks organic, though. I mean, I think that looks really...
Hey, man, blind squirrel finds nuts every once in a while, right, pal?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a beautiful shot, well worth.
I suck at placing flares. Like I mean, I would like to do it more, especially on Mando shots where you would be getting something off of metal, but for some reason they just never look right to me, so I don't run with it. But everything in here is in camera. I mean, you got atmosphere aerosol. That is the sun. I use no lume cubes for this. This is just, like I said, back to the basics. Yeah, and sometimes that's when I have the most fun. It's just when I go out there and I'm not stressed out about, I gotta make it look like a fucking Mos Eisley cantina, or I gotta make it look like they're somewhere in Star Wars. No, you know what? Just fucking throw it down in your pine needles and pine cones and try to use your eye to make something that looks somewhat appealing. And I will tell you, the lighting to me is off. I mean, there's some blown out fucking white light here. Like, look how blown out the whites are down on the bottom right and up towards the mid left. And that's a really bright white light.
Panning, like if this is a panning shot of a movie and your camera is coming down like this, you're going to get blown out whites when you cross your light source. So like it's not like that. I don't think that detracts from the photo at all. I think that and you know, it doesn't detract from it. It gives you that sense of motion of like, if your video camera is moving like this and you hit that light source, you blow out. Like the light just naturally blows out.
I will keep that in mind, Nick, because I get very critical, especially when I'm doing just sunlit shots of blown out white light. So I'll keep it in mind, because sometimes I worry about too much. Maybe I'll listen to you and it can look appealing. And as you said, create some sense of this is cinematic or motion. I'm just going to leave it at that. Like I usually don't like to hear nice things said about me, but I'm going to take it today.
I will say that most of the time, like people who look at these, I mean, I don't know if I'm like a unique case, but I don't think I am. I think that even with simplistic setups that don't require any sort of diodes or anything that's like uniquely Star Wars other than the focus itself, people's imagination will build the story in their head.
Yeah, so I don't doubt that. I think I've poisoned myself though, and a lot of it is from doing the features, Nick. I mean, think about how much or how many great toy shots I see on a weekly basis.
Yeah, it's true.
More than probably anyone else in the community. I mean, I'm talking I spend at least an hour a day just on the Star Wars stuff, and then at night, my personal stuff, I'm also looking at more toy photography for toy pops, this, that, and the other thing. So I think I'm suffering from a little bit of, I'm being oversaturated with some top-notch shit that my own brain is saying, if you aren't doing this type of stuff, you're not good.
So what Matt is saying, that we are now changing this feature section to the bottom 5 Star Wars Artist of the Week. He will only be
I'm only going to start looking at crap to where I feel like my stuff is way better than it, and then I'll just feel better about myself.
We're going to change it to the bottom 5. So this is the last top 5 for a long time. I hope you guys have enjoyed the segment.
You know what I mean, though, right? I mean, if you just see excellence all day long, you're going to start letting that bleed into your own life, and you're going to be more critical of your shit. You know, I'll look at a Lima 4 pose job, and I'm like, well, fuck. I can't do that. I need to do that, but I don't want to do that. So now I'm just not going to shoot toys. And there we go. Now we lost another day to do some art. So, oh, well, that was a fun one, Nick. I didn't get too depressed about that. Yeah, but you know what this means, my friends? It means next week's episode, we're back to fan critique time. We have a lot of submissions to go, but if you are listening and you didn't submit a shot the last time we put out the call for fan toy photos or fan Star Wars art to be submitted for a critique, please do so through Instagram. Yes. And we'll get you into the queue. But next week during this segment, it's not going to be a Matt top one. It's not going to be a shit on Matt, or in this week it was kind of a below Matt segment. I'll take it. Next week will be a more poignant critique of a fan's submitted shot.
Yes. So looking forward to that.
Did you see what Greg said when you said we're going to start featuring the not top 5?
Yeah. Look, Greg, those two shots, those two egg attack like stylized shots you put out recently are actually really cool.
Well, I'll tell you right now, and this is just a personal preference of mine. I'm probably never going to feature a filtered shot.
Okay,
that's just me. I don't know.
No, that's totally fine because usually I don't think that you should ever get to the point in what you're featuring that you pick something that you think that I would like.
No way. Come on, Nick. No. I mean, I don't like you that much.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the narcissist here. I think everything I do is the right way. So of course.
Yeah. So
no, I do. I truly pick what moves me. I mean, I'd say the biggest battles I have in my head when I'm doing the daily features is, when's the last time I featured this person? Have I featured them too much, or have I forgot about this person for a while? Do they need featured?
Yeah.
That's really the biggest debate I get when I either pass by a pretty good shot or decide to keep it for featuring.
Yes, that's how it should stay. All right, so that's the end of the top 5. That's the end of Matt's Haywood pop shot breakdown and the end of our show.
We did it. We didn't do a full show of hey now, but we did do something. We set another record, and this was after we consciously tried not to take as much time at the start of the show just shooting the shit about daily life when we were talking about the Legends mode added to Ghost of Tsushima. It is what it is. I guess we like talking about this shit, and I guess we really like talking about it with all of you that joined for the live stream. So I'm not going to sit here and bitch and moan. I had a good time. We just spent 3.5 hours bullshitting about bullshit. That's a good day. That's a good Tuesday, right? It's better than work. Now we just got a lot of work to do after the fact. That's what happens when Matt takes a full day, or at least a good chunk of the day, to play Star Wars time. He then has to start playing Professor time. But either way, as Nick said, it is time to put this episode to bed. 133 is tired, as in Matt and Nick are tired. But we got to do that dance first. We can't just leave you hanging. If you are a new listener or you are a loyal listener and you still have not subscribed to the show, you need to get your happy ass over to StarWarsTime.net. From there, you can look at all of our other content, the content that usually comes up on the show, but you can find our subscribe links for the audio-only versions of the podcast, which is on iTunes, if you can even call it iTunes anymore. You can't. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Android, Stitcher, iHeart, Pandora, Deezer, whatever the fuck that is, but we're there. If you just want our RSS feed to kind of poke through some of the XML, we got that for you too. There are no excuses for not being down with the Star Wars Time show. But seriously, we need more. I am the Lord of Hunger. Feed me. I need more Star Wars fan souls to make me feel good about myself. Is all the time I dedicate to this nonsense worth it? Let's be real. Let's be real. But while you're on StarWarsTime.net, if you don't like the audio shit, and you don't like, or you would prefer to maybe look at our stupid faces, or get in and tell us that we're stupid, you can join our YouTube community. Just scroll down the page a little bit. It's on the sidebar there, right to the right, Star Wars Time on YouTube. Click that subscribe button. If you click that button, I'll tell you what, people, you won't even have to subscribe when the YouTube channel pops up. It will already subscribe you to the channel. All we need you to do is check that little alarm symbol so you get notifications. Yes, I know it sucks that YouTube no longer sends out emails, but you will get notified on the YouTube mobile app, this, that, and the other thing. Just come on. Come on. There's always time for Star Wars Time. I know this. Nick knows this. Apollo Ape knows this in the live stream. Why don't you know this? Get to know it. StarWarsTime.net. Listen to the show. Rate, review, like, comment, sub up. Do all the stupid shit we have to do these days on social media to appease the search engine optimization gods. We speak all your names. Speak ours in return. Because if you listen to the Star Wars Time Show, the Force will be with you. Always.